Alright, welcome back everyone to ZeldaSpeedRuns 2. We are back with a Season 6 Ocarina of Time Randomizer Tournament Winner Bracket Semifinals, RyuuKane vs. SeYsEy. So I'm going to turn it over to our commentators, Manlug Adam, Doc Heaps, and tracking today is Diesler and Baseball. Let's check out the stats.
Good evening, ZSR. How y'all doing today?
Oh my goodness. Are y'all ready to have some fun?
This is Winner Bracket Semifinals.
It's wild that we're already at the semifinals. I gotta admit,
the bracket is 64. I'm surprised. Well, we did do a lot of races all back to back.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the loser bracket has a little bit of time to catch up. And so once we kind of get to the winners finals, we're going to have a pretty long run through losers bracket before we find out who emerges to face off the winner of the winners bracket for the grand finals. But until then, we've got some pretty incredible runners here in the form of RyuuKane and SeYsEy.
Oh yeah, no. Both of them been tearing through the randomizer races for quite a while now. Not just this tournament, but before and last tournament and all of that.
Yeah. These two runners especially are not new to the Ocarina of Time randomizer scene. They have been around for many seasons. And so if there's a race that you want to watch, simply from skill and execution alone, this is it. And two, if you are interested in learning about some of the wild routing or execution skills that go into Ocarina of Time randomizer, these are the runners to watch.
Oh yeah. And real quick before we get started here and switch off the stats page, as you can see, they both have lots of races, very highly seeded, really good best times, and over the last 10 races, they've been pretty even.
Yeah. I'm going to believe you. I don't actually have the stats page pulled up in front of me. I just have enough experience with these two runners that I'm like, I could talk for an hour on RyuuKane and SeYsEy without the stats page, just because they are that well known within the community and especially within the Ocarina, within the racing scene.
Oh yeah.
That it is going to be an incredible showing here.
And also, both of them had a really tough racket to get to this match. I mean, RyuuKane beat Wooden Barrel, Marco, Fantatank, and Juke to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And SeYsEy had to go through Riley, Cine, Sora, and Exodus.
Yeah, and some of the biggest names in Ocarina of Time randomizer. And of course, you're going to hear this a lot and probably a broken record on this, but when you look at the top 64 and the runners who are in top 64, it is astounding the amount of high quality, high caliber runners that we have in the community nowadays. It's just incredible to watch
all the time. Oh yeah,
what I was about to say, and even Challenge Cup is running towards the end of their and they're top 65 to 128. And they have put some incredible races up because the talent just continues on, even past top 64. So a lot of good runners to watch, a lot of good up-and-coming runners. But until then, an incredible match we've got on our hands here.
Right. Also, so we're moving on to the main page now. It looks like we got a Storms Kokiri Emerald start. As Child.
I'm going to hit refresh. I think I'm behind you.
Oh, no, you're not behind. I'm just looking at their personal trackers and our trackers.
I'm sitting here, and it's on the file. Oh, there it goes. I was like, it's on the file, so how do you know this?
I'm looking at their personal trackers to figure this information out.
Oh, Storm Start.
As Child.
Which, that's... If there is a song that you want in your first child segment, it's Song of Storms.
Right. All right. Looks like we're going to get started. And child spawn is... What? Is that Saria's house?
Sure. I don't know.
Yes, that is Saria's house.
It's Kokiri Forest. I don't know. So yeah,
Oh, is that the twins' house? I thought that was Saria's house.
No, it's not twins. I know it's not twins.
Yeah, the one with all the hearts in it is Saria's house. Okay,
yeah,
not wrong.
Because the twins has the bloopy, and I remember that one. So the reason why, you're talking about storms as an opener, this is a classic example of why you want storms in your child segment, is that we will be able to full clear Kokiri Forest in one go.
Look at all that money immediately. Bam.
Yeah. And SeYsEy showing off the power of being on RetroArch. Save quits are
Quick
a little bit faster.
Quits, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, free full wallet already from Sword Chest. And also, as Toad pointed out, Link spent the night at Saria's house, Maka S.
So...
Right, you're right, I believe Ryu is on Bizhawk. Yeah. Neither of them checking Mido's house.
Now that's interesting.
They're both skipping Mido's.
Yeah. I don't...
What?
I don't understand.
They didn't do the Storm's Grotto either.
Well, so the one argument that I was going to say for the Storm's Grotto is that sometimes you can get the Storm's Grotto as you're going up to do the song from Saria. So sometimes you'll see that kind of routing. This is interesting. I will say I don't fully understand. And if it were me in their shoes, I don't think I would make the same decision. However, these two are in the semifinals and I am not. So I'm gonna trust them that whatever they're doing.
They probably came to a meme agreement. 90% chance they came to a meme agreement. Looks like they're both headed lawn. And we got Talon's chickens.
Yeah, and again, like you start with the full wallet there with that gold rupee, and so that's nice because one of the challenges that you face with a Mido start is money.
Right.
Oftentimes when you start in or around Mido's house, you're somewhere in Kokiri Forest. There's not good money options, and Lost Woods requires 40, if not 80 rupees. Lon Lon Ranch requires 10. If you want to go Lake and Valley, you're looking at another 20 to 30. And so a lot of early money has to be spent, and there's not a whole lot of good money places. So starting with that 200 is really nice for these runners.
Right. Also, that is Saria's song from Malin.
Oh, nice. Shout out. God, I hate Saria's song. I'm sorry.
It's what? It's 2 checks and logical forest access?
I hate it so much.
It's literally 2 checks and logical forest access.
Yeah, and maybe, there might be some personal bias in S6 in having, less successful seeds because of, Saria's song. It's fine. Right. No one's I'm sorry. No one's bitter.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. There's a 3rd check, which is Frogs 2.
Oh, yeah.
Also, that is double defense in the back of the silo brain.
Yep. No surprise there that both runners said.
Oh, now they're going Midos.
Yeah. And again, like, I wondered if it would have been I'm grabbing Midos on my way to do Saria's checks. I think there's an argument to say that you do this before you go to Ranch, because after this, unless I get a Warp Song, and specifically something like Serenade, Nocturne, or Prelude, they're not going to have really good outs from here.
Right. Also, Midos being 3 blue rupees and a piece of heart. Absolutely useless today. But Amazing. It is winter.
Goron City to Twin Rova. All right.
That's an interesting one. Okay.
Yeah. Goron City as a path location is, I would say, one of the harder ones, because there is both adult Goron City, which can require explosives and even things like Hammer or Strength 2, but there's also Child, which can require up until ZL. Zelda's Lullaby and Saria's song. So it has a surprising amount of check requirements for one location.
Right, that's fair. But it's also good to have it because that is a place you orphan a lot.
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, yes, by the way, we have a French restream today on Aosuna.
Oh,
For those who are more
awesome.
comfortable with French. Also, Big Goron dead, 20 Gold Skulls dead.
I like 20 hint. 20 hint's nice.
I believe the meta is still if you get a 20 hint, 50 is required.
50 is required? Oh, absolutely. 100%. Like, it's shocking how statistical that is. I will say, while people are kind of treading over the ground here, there is a prediction going on right now in which you can use your channel points to place a prediction on who you think will win today's bet. It's probably going to be up for about another 5-10 minutes. So if you are somebody who has a runner that you have stake in, somebody that you've enjoyed watching or that you want to cheer for, go ahead and you can make your predictions. Just a fun little way to include y'all in the conversation here.
Right. Also, I never bet while I'm on comms or tracking, so I have no bias.
I know, I didn't bet either. So my channel points are like, come on, throw me in.
Do it. Just do it. Alright. We have the song minigame. Woohoo.
Yeah. So I will say, RyuuKane appeared to be a little bit behind. Oh, wow. Thanks, game.
That's convenient. Yeah. I call that convenient.
Yeah, the only check in the game that requires a slingshot, hard requires it, is right here. Of course, Twin Rova. Oh my god, Goma, not Twin Rova, Goma. Logically requires slingshot, but these runners, you won't see them using slingshot anywhere in or around Goma.
Right. Also, you could logically be required to use slingshot or boomerang for Child Spirit.
Yep, lots of ways
Goma. It's two-headed Goma. You imagine Goma with two heads and you had to hit both eyes.
Oh my god.
Nut would still be the better strategy.
It'd still be pretty great. So, well, I'm not going to say anything until we find out the song, but just speculating here. If we don't get a warp song here, where do you go next?
Child Cack and the Child Cack.
So you would do Child Cack and possibly something like do Windmill or Bottom of the Well?
Yeah.
All right.
Also, it's a Serenade.
It's
not
Serenade,
song, to be honest. Well, that kills my usual... Well, of course, I'd also do different because I would have checked Midas' house on the first run through and then went Valley Lake from Lon Lon. But I love the Valley Lake play. I enjoy it because it's a place I'll orphan all the time if I don't do it. So,
yeah, I think Valley Lake. For some reason in S6, Valley Lake has been a stronger play than what I've seen in previous years. And so I've been really enjoying watching the runners do Valley Lake, and I think I did a lot of Valley Lake in S6.
Diving experiment is ice arrows.
Okay. So we're not getting that, right. But it's nice. It's fun to know.
SeYsEy deciding to owl to market. That makes sense. Market play is not a bad play. Gonna use all that excess money to buy a shield. # buy a shield, you cowards.
Interesting thing to note. Both runners elected to skip the hints in Lost Woods. They grabbed the one by Saria, but they skipped the two on the maze. And some runners I feel like are a little bit more hint heavy, where they put more reliance on hints. And then there are other runners who are more like, can I follow the items? Can I follow the density? And have that kind of direct their play more. It seems like both of these runners are prioritizing, like, let's get moving, let's just do checks versus I need these hints to direct me.
Right. I like getting hints not out of the way, but in the way, so that I have some direction, but I also like following the items and trying to figure out the logic. Yeah. Pierre is a small key. Hyrule Castle Fairy dead. Ravaged Village Sun Song. Frogs Azora River dead.
So, like in this case, we haven't yet found one of our path hints. And so, if you are just watching for the first time, welcome on in. Path hints usually will show us, a location leads to a dungeon boss, and can give us a lot of direction with regards to items. We haven't found any of those yet, and so they're kind of more or less like they will. Did we find one? Which one did we find?
Goron City to Twin Rova.
Oh yeah, duh. Goron City to Twin Goma. We talked about this.
Yeah. But also, so we know that now with those 4 hints outside Temple Time, which is a great hint location. We have Frogs 2 dead. We have Pierre and Fire Temple dead. We have Hyrule Castle Fairy or Din's Fairy dead, and we know that Burning Cack is Sun Song. Oh, and we now have our medallion layout. We have very quick.
DC Deku, Water, Fire, Forest, Spirit.
I believe it was Deku, Water, Fire, Forest, Spirit, and I didn't see the light medallion.
Dodongo's
Caverns. Okay.
Yep.
So we have Stone Shadow and Stone Jabu.
Yeah. We're just gonna ignore Stone Jabu. That doesn't exist. Shadow's always interesting because Shadow has high density and a pretty moderate entrance requirement, in the sense that most items require Nocturne, Dins, Magic, Hovers. So not necessarily early in the seed, but can show up kind of in your middle part or late part of the seed when you're looking for items. Shadow then becomes an option that starts to loom.
All right, so we have Adult Cack here. Rufio, always a good first check for Adult Cack in this loop. It gets you the song from Windmill before you go into Graveyard, which is nice.
Yeah, and especially in this case when you don't have Lullaby or Sun Song.
Right.
We're missing, 9 songs? So there's a 2 out of 9 chance that the song you get from Windmill will be a useful song for Graveyard.
Right. Though I do like going Graveyard first, going up the right side of Cack, doing Cow Cage and Anju into Graveyard, and then if I have Song of Time to come in the back of Windmill.
Yeah, it's real slick. Real slick. And I agree with you. Like, if I have those songs, if I have Lullaby and Suns, I really like right side.
That is a bow on Windmill Ledge, by the way.
Speaking of Song of Time.
Yep.
Though both of these runners will easily be able to grab that using the trick that you just saw from SeYsEy. And I believe...
Nocturne in the Windmill.
Oh, hello. Speaking of Stone Shadow. I believe that we saw a collecting the Cuckoos hint is dead. I think Ryu is going to see this right here.
Yeah, I believe that was Chicken's dead. That is Chicken's dead.
Yep.
Also, yes, Nasa, I did call him Rufio.
It's such a great name.
It is.
So, not something that we're going to need today. Though I will say, season 6, one of the advantages is that collecting Cuckoos was reduced from 7 to 4, so it's not nearly as long of a check as before. It cuts out almost a minute.
Also, as SeYsEy was showing off just there, getting the bow here in CAC is nice to not orphan the adult archery check.
Yeah, Kakariko has a lot of checks between Kakariko and Graveyard that are just real quick to do back to back, but there are a few checks that can get orphaned, and that's one of them that I've seen. That, your skulls, as well as the Redead Grotto.
Aster, I love the pun. Thank you. Also, that was a scale in Cow Cage.
Oh, interesting.
Lamont Ranch to Phantom Ganon. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. What was it? Sarius? Oh, God.
Yeah. That's a useless hint. Shield Grave, and we got Din's Fire.
Oh, jeez.
We are magic away from being able to enter Stone Shadow. Not do any checks, but enter.
So, yeah. Interesting little divergence here. Ryu electing to do Nocturne into Graveyard will pick up the cow and Anju and do archery on the way out, versus SeYsEy, who chose to do all of that Kakariko first, push graveyard second, skipping playing Nocturne.
Mm-hmm. I will expect, with Goron City being a path, and having the bow, I expect both these runners to go up trail after this, check the top of DC, peek the wall item, do the Storm's Grotto, and then peek the maze and do Link the Goron into... not sure where they'll go from there, probably into Lost Woods with using the bow to light the shortcut up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also an argument to do River at this point with Scale. Whether that be doing the route that you mentioned, going up Trail Goron City, Lost Woods, Scale on down, or whether doing a River first, and then scaling into Lost Woods using bow into Goron City.
Can you hit the bombs from the other side of those rocks?
Yes, you can, and it's amazing. Right. You do a neutral roll, backflip, side hop, and that gives you the proper distance and spacing, and then you can shoot the bomb through the boulders.
Interesting.
Really good. Doesn't come up very often, but I practice it often when I just have a bow because I don't want to get rusty on that trick. And it's very helpful for routing if you only have a bow but want to go into DC, or at least open it up for when you go back as Child. And this looks like a river play. Yep.
This does look like a river play. Our child spawn was Saria's house, Griandel, and of course the adult spawn is Vanilla.
Yeah. Because at this point, the biggest thing that these runners are most likely looking for is going to be explosives, whether that be in the form of bomb bag or in the form of bomb shoes.
I love bomb shoes. I could go a whole seed without a bomb bag as long as I have bomb shoes.
Oh my god, 100%. God, I love bomb shoes. They're just so fun, and they have a cute little face on them, and it's just great. But it's gonna make things like Lost Woods more efficient. It's gonna make things like Goron City more efficient. It's gonna make Death Mountain Trail, Death Mountain Crater more efficient. And so you're gonna try to do non-bomb locked locations first, trying to dig out those bombs before you push locations where you might have to skip checks and then double back.
It looks like Ryu is going to climb up trail first, like I said.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them make sense. Skull Mask is a what now? Deku Shield, I believe?
Sure.
It was Deku something, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yep, and can get the song. Exactly.
That looks like just a little piece of heart. Not a piece of heart. Oh, that's a big chest in the wall. What was that?
It was Ice Cavern.
Fire. Okay.
Yep.
Ice Cavern, Bolero Fire.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so it was Deku Stick. Alright.
Yeah, so Zora's River logically, the only check that you can get without a single item is that grotto there. Oh, hi, Magic. You're going to see a trick here from SeYsEy that allows SeYsEy to get the correct spacing and alignment in order to get this, but this is not in logic with the equipment that SeYsEy has. As an adult, this would require hover boots. And as a child, it would require either bomb bag or scale, which we do have scale, so technically it is in logic.
Shadow Temple to Morpha.
Of course it does.
We are hovers and or hookshot from getting in.
Yeah.
50 gold skulls is dead.
Oh, thank God.
It's a bloopy.
So, I'm trying to think of where you go. Because very quickly we're running out of checks.
Oh yeah.
SeYsEy can really only get the song here. Ryu can really only get the Rolling Goron here. And I love that jump slash. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
And that's about it. And so
he's gonna peek the maze though, so we'll know if that's required for the path.
Yeah. And as Chet's pointing out, I think I would agree. Bottom of the well is going to be your next.
Oh yeah.
your next best play. Almost certainly.
It's the most check dense at the moment.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Strength.
Ooh.
That opens up TC.
Hello, darling. Right? SeYsEy going for a nice little jump here. Setting up the position, setting up the angle, so that way it gets airborne, but still able to grab the ledge there, skipping the entire maze and grabbing the hints along the way.
There's the other Fire Temple Pierre hint.
Mm-hmm. Now, and there's another
Deku stick. Okay. It was Deku stick. I knew it was Deku something.
if I saw correctly, Ryu did not peek the boulder maze.
He did not.
Okay. There without magic, especially. Oh, and there's Lullaby. So especially now, bottom of the well is your next best play. But the boulder maze has 3 items in there that by holding a charge spin, you can actually see, especially with chest size and appearance matches contents, if there's a big and shiny chest, which means that is where your item will be, or if they're just all dead and you're like, cool, great, I'd come back as child.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know this is not what most runners prefer. I prefer the textures over the size.
Okay. What do you like about that specifically?
I'm not good with the size chest cheats that it adds in. So
yeah.
And so the quality of life from textures is the same as size without the extra cheats.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it because I'm oh baby. This is gonna okay, well, change of plans. Just go to Deku.
Ryu not doing River here is gonna miss out on that and his Kokiri sword. His Kokiri sword and his magic.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ryu goes and does that as child.
Yeah.
So that way they can get the check there.
Without magic, yeah, the torches check.
Exactly.
Route it in with doing well, he did get the song, right? Yeah, he got the song.
Mm-hmm.
He got
he didn't get Zelda's Lullaby. Oh no, he did.
Yeah, he did. He went all the way up.
Okay.
I'm 90% positive he went all the way up to check the song.
I'm gonna trust you. Mostly because I didn't pay attention enough. Because I was watching SeYsEy and there was a big shiny chest. And my ADHD kicked in and I was like, ooh, shiny.
Actually. Oh, he didn't mark it on his personal tracker, so I'm not sure. Did he just get... No, because I thought he went up there. I know he got the hints on top of the maze.
He like, as you mentioned it, he marked it on his personal tracker.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I had the same thought. I was like, did he? I'm pretty sure he did, but
he did. Okay.
I could be mistaken.
He's freaking us all out. But yeah, no, you're just gonna go do Deku Tree. It's your Force Medallion. That's an extra song.
Totally. Yeah.
Forget anything else we were saying. You get that sword.
Yeah.
This is where you're headed.
It's like you could do bottom of the well, or you could do a required dungeon, and it's like, I wonder what I'm going to choose.
I'm going to choose the required dungeon all the time. Frogs in a Storm is what now?
All I saw was that it wasn't required.
It was Frogs in a Storm, so it's Frogs in the Rain.
Yeah, so no Frogs 1, no Frogs 2. So SeYsEy is done with River.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Big Goron dead. We saw that earlier.
I'm a fan of this RyuuKane strategy where you double backflip from the green acid. I know some people line up with the wall. I like this because it puts you just far enough away from the wall to be in the right position when you face the door. And it's awesome.
That's the setup I know. I don't know the facing the wall strat.
Yeah, the one challenge with the face the wall strat is that the face the wall strat forces you to have to adjust your position a little bit, because if you try to walk at the door from the wall, you're too far left and the door won't open. So it's a lot of people will do the double backflip in order to get that positioning better for the door.
And as we said, you get the Kokiri sword, you go do your required dungeon. It's a forest medallion, that's an extra song. Forget anything else you were gonna do.
Right?
Yeah, like you could find bombs in here and be able to full clear well. That's hover boots. That is Shadow Temple. Up to the Redead Spike Room.
No, because no explosives.
Right, no explosive crap.
It's only the first 4.
I always forget about the explosive requirement.
Yeah, well, because by the time you go into Shadow Temple, you've got explosives, so it totally makes sense. But yeah, no, they are locked into the first 4 checks, which honestly, dipping for the first 4 is not that bad.
Right. I mean, it's stone, but it's a path. It's either iron boots or a hook shot, most likely. Like, 90% of the time, a path to Morpha is going to be iron boots or a hook shot. It can, 10% of the time, be a Zora tunic, but that's just rude.
And then you just cry. Yeah. And like, we've already got bow, we've already got strength, which are the 2 other requirements. I did have a seed, though, that hover boots were path to Morpha, because you needed the hover boots to get your long shot, which was in the block push room, which requires either hover boots or long shot to get. It was a disaster.
That is horrible. Also, that's a wallet, which is interesting. I like when wallets are required. It just adds something to the seed, I think, having a required wallet. You know? Usually it's for buying Blue Fire or logically buying a tunic. But I just like it being on a path, and you're like, why? Do I need a tunic? Do I need Blue Fire? What is it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
That's a stick upgrade that I don't think SeYsEy grabbed. No, he did. He's got 20. Okay.
Yep. So now comes the classic B1 skip. Stands for basement floor 1. With some good positioning and some good alignments. Very similar jump to what you saw in the Adult Sacred Forest Meadow. You're able to just jump off enough and swing over just enough to grab the ledge, and it's so slick. I love it.
That is the first trick I ever learned.
Is it?
Yes.
They're like, welcome to Rando. Learn this trick. If you can get this, you can hang with us.
Basically, no. Well, I started in season 2. And the recommended tricks that there were bomb jumps, B1 skip, and backwalking were the basic of the basics you had to know.
Yeah.
So that's the 3 I spent time learning first. Like how to backwalk while looking where you're going.
Yeah, I as I was watching this Goma, I realized that I am one of the very few people who only use 1 Deku Nut for Goma. Most anyone that you watch will do 2 Deku Nuts.
That was another slingshot.
Long slingshot? Good God.
That's funny.
That's delicious. I love that.
I usually use 2 nuts for Goma just for safety.
Yeah, and most do.
I've missed the 1 nut Goma too many times to not do 2 nuts. What is this setup?
Are we doing swag setup? Yes! I love that setup.
I wish Ryu had a thing that showed his controller inputs.
Oh,
because damn.
Bless. Yeah, so the advantage of that is it allows you to grab the skull, and then you are already in the correct position to start going into setting up B1 skip. The downside is that setup sucks ass, and nobody should do it, but Dear God, does it look cool?
Mm-hmm.
And again,
That was
oh, go for it.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as we're talking about the skill and caliber of these runners, like, it's stuff like that you watch and you go, damn, there's a reason why you're in the semifinals.
Right. Also, Ryu deciding not to nut, but to slingshot Goma.
Yeah.
It's a guaranteed full-time stun.
Yeah. If you don't know, Deku Nuts give you a tiny amount of window of stun. And that slingshot gives you like 3 years worth of stun. It is ludicrous how long Goma remains stunned after a slingshot when compared to Deku Nuts. So if you're struggling with the one cycle, but you have a slingshot, use your slingshot, you'll get it every time. Like, it's free.
Also, as Baseball points out, I love that he took the time to look at the slingshot and pick it up from Goma.
Oh, did he?
Yes. He took the time to watch it spawn before picking it up. So he knew what it was.
And be like, yeah, no, I do want that. I do want that bigger slingshot bag.
Right. Also, SeYsEy getting Boomerang in the well.
Ew.
Yeah, that's an
Ew.
And it looks like Ryu is going to go into Child Goron City with that strength, or go to, he's going to Child Goron City.
These are strength? Oh, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, we're going to talk about this boomerang strat. Line yourself up perpendicular to that coffin wall, throw the boomerang and side hop to get it to curve left, and it gets the item every time. Oof.
Free shield. Goron pot.
I was like, didn't he buy a shield?
He did buy a shield, yeah.
Oh. So technically, the fun technically is that technically you can do all 3 child checks with strength. Does anyone like doing it? Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Does anyone like doing it? No,
For Oris Wind from Dancing Dad. Which is the Darunia Saria song check, for those that don't know the meme name. Or the community. It's not really a meme name anymore, it's the community name. It's used so often.
Dancing Dad, yeah. Ryu's gonna have to hustle. He should be fine. His timing should still be okay. He missed the torch
on his first pass. Which is the timing for Big Rolling Goron with strength is tight.
Yeah.
He's not even gonna do it.
He might be resetting the room.
Oh, he might be. Yeah, that makes sense.
I
don't know why he would come up here otherwise, unless he's going to get the wall with strength. He's gonna get Juke's wall with strength.
Was that a big chest? I actually didn't.
It was. He peeked into the chest.
Okay, this is a cool strat. So as long as you get that angle right, it's basically free.
It's a tight window if you don't have that angle right, though.
Yeah. And you can see, I mean, he's swerved all the way out into left field. What is happening?
We can do Jabu.
Oh, this seed. You know what this seed is saying?
Go Ice.
Oh no, it's gonna be a Requiem seed.
Is it gonna be an AT Requiem seed?
It sure does feel like it.
This season.
Sure does feel like it.
Hookshot in the well.
Yeah. So at least what that says though is that SeYsEy will be able to get their strength from Goron City, and they can do Forest. And with the strength and Bomb Choose, they can also go and do Dodongo's Cavern. So they have quite a few dungeons that are available to them right now.
Right. So we have Choose, Hookshot, Boomerang in well so far. Also, Ryu will be picking up his magic there. Honestly, I expect Ryu to go do well next because he can full clear it. Well, he doesn't know he can full clear it because he doesn't have bombs yet, but...
Yeah.
I'm expecting to buy at least 2 beans here.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think there's an argument to, okay, let's just turn in Letter and do River now, because I may need to do Ice Cavern. And an argument of, yes, after this, I am almost certainly going to well, because there's really not much. Oh, go for it.
Sorry. And honestly, what I was going to say is, well is still a really good play with ZL and Storms, because you can peek the 2 bomb lock checks.
Yeah, exactly. SeYsEy's Match's Contents was a big win for Bottom of the Well.
Oh, yeah.
Because Bottom of the Well was already fast, and it just got ludicrously faster with SeYsEy's Match's Contents, because it now you can just fly through well, and even go in there with like far less items than you normally would, and walk out far more confident than you should.
Also, how big was that chew pack? I did not see.
20 chews, baby.
Dear God, that is a big chew pack.
Yeah.
20 chews will get you through a full seed.
Well,
if you're smart with them.
So now you got to start asking yourself, where's the logical bomb bag?
Right. Also, Nasa, yes, the trim and color of the chest does matter. Gold is an inventory item. Silver is a key.
Yep, and you will notice that those gold trim items will always be big chests. Just to kind of piggyback exactly to what Adam was saying. And the reason for that is not only is chest texture on, but chest size is on. So if it's a big chest, you know it's important. Well, you know it's a unique item. I'm going to take that statement back before chat roasts me. Because they're not all important.
Right, because we have, what else is in big chest that could not be important? Stone of Agony.
Stone of Agony's there, Double Defense is there. Neighbor's Love is in that. Slingshot number 3 is in there. Ice Arrows.
In the Wolfos Grotto.
Oh, shout outs. All right.
Ice Arrows, there you go.
So, and again, like, I'm interested to see what song they get from beating Deku.
Right, that is interesting. That's a good point, because it's so early logically.
Who needs bomb bag?
Who needs a bomb bag? You have 30 chews. You can do a full seed with 20 if you're smart. 30, you have room to play.
Yeah, no, there's...
that is Forest Temple to Volvagia.
Okay. Yeah, so SeYsEy is going to wreak havoc here in Goron City. With those bomb chews, can do all 3 child checks comfortably, as well as even do the 2 adult checks. Well, adult, like dual age checks in the Boulder Maze.
Also, this strat that Ryu just did right there. To backwalk off the waterfall to fall down perfectly to light the torches.
Yeah. It's good. And then we'll have, 30 seconds coming up here to still do the diving game. A little bit tighter than maybe some of the other strats that you see, which is like going down the stairs, doing flame storage, and then jumping. But Ryu has a perfect Ruby layout for this.
2 dive.
That's disgusting. God, it doesn't get better than that.
I mean, there is a possibility, however small, to get a 1 dive.
So if you're Ryu, and I think Ryu is already planning on this, I think you go into Jabu and set Furor's Wind.
Oh yes, 100%.
You don't want to do Jabu, but where else in Child are you going to use Furor's Wind, except for in Jabu?
Right. No, Child, Furor's Jabu for Child is great. It's adult that you get all the cool, like, skips and stuff. There's our bomb bag.
There it is. Alrighty.
He is definitely going well now.
Had to show up somewhere, yeah.
Also, that is in logic, so that's probably our logical bomb bag.
I think so, yeah. And again, we were running, it was like here or Valley, so like, there are only so many places it could be.
Right, that has to be either Iron Boots, Zora Tunic, or Longshot in Shadow now.
SeYsEy doing the Lost Woods setup for Goron Pot, which is pretty swaggy. I see some people set it up from the Lost Woods. I see some people set it up from the Darunia's Joy room.
I go from Darunia's room because if you get the setup correct, you count for 3 blinks and let it go, and it's perfect every time.
Yeah, it's so great. My problem is that, and nobody follow my poor example, but I don't play with notches. And so every now and again, like, Link will just skew ever so slightly right or left. And so you go to let go of the bomb chew and it just like swerves off into left field, and you're like, no, come back.
All right, Lake, that is bomb chews on Ruto's letter die.
He goes right back for it, and rightfully so. Yeah. He
has bomb bags, but bomb chews are just nice to have.
Yeah. The one thing Ryu has to be careful of in this setting is time of day.
Oh, yeah.
Ryu doesn't have Sun Song, and he doesn't have Prelude. And so he's in day right now.
He has Nocturne. He could be setting up doing Lake first to get Dompe digging.
And he could be, totally. But
not going to do child fishing, though, which is interesting.
Yeah. And again, I think it's if Ryu wants to go adult to do something like DC, time of day is looking pretty tepid. It's going to be turning night here probably in the next 45 seconds.
There it is. LOT Requiem.
I knew it.
No, he's going to have plenty of time of day to get adult. I'm just surprised he's not doing well right now.
Yeah. The well play, I can totally see the gamble. Like, do you gamble for it? Do you gamble against it? I think I'm on your train, where I would probably play on the safer side and do well. But I can definitely see the argument here of I can do Shadow Temple, I can do DC.
There's a lot of required stuff from adult right now, which is
Exactly.
Graveyard on the path to what now?
Goma.
No.
Oh my god, I'm so shocked.
I think that's all our pass, though.
Yeah, I think that's number 5.
That is number 5.
Alright, I lied. Ryu had way more time of day than I was expecting.
I think it had just turned. He did Deku Tree. It sets your time of day to noon, and he hadn't been outside where a time changes yet.
He did River.
Oh, he did River. That's right.
He did River.
Rain.
Yep.
Oh,
so,
bowling.
I thought he had been in River long enough that it was like farther in the day. Yeah. Right. I was wrong.
It's okay. All right, Bombchu Bowling's nothing. But nice to get that out of the way.
Yeah, and not going to punish SeYsEy for not finding that bomb bag, as Bomb Chew Bowling is the only check in the game that exclusively requires bombs, like bomb bag, as your only explosive. So,
right. So as Alfalfa is pointing out, Ryo did not get Hook and Rang from his child section, and SeYsEy has not seen any of Trail, so it doesn't have the letter.
Now, we got Eponas from beating Deku, correct?
Yes.
Yep, okay. So, for all intents and purposes, they can get to Spirit Temple without Requiem, which is good.
Right. I mean, logically, we'd still need a lens, but who cares about that?
The worst is when you get those seeds where Epona's is in Desert Colossus and Long Shots in GGG, and you're just like, cool. I need to do AD, but for very different reasons, and that's because I have no choice but to do AD or alt engines.
All right. So now with Hookshot and Explosives, we can do all of Shadow Temple. Well, Ryu can't. Ryu can do up to the Redead Spike Room.
Yeah.
But SeYsEy can do all of Shadow Temple.
I really like that backwalk backflip strat there from Ryu. You'll see some people try to jump slash there and can land that. I suck at the jump slash and will fall every time. So I might steal Ryu's strat there.
Shadow Temple is my worst temple by far.
I have a special place for Shadow Temple. Like, it is linear as hell. I love it. Like, it's so much fun.
Oh, I don't think it's the worst. It's the one I'm worst at.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That's what I meant. It's the one I'm worst at.
Yeah, that's me. That's me in water. I suck at water, and I hate water.
Right.
No, sorry. That's Ice Cavern. Let's be real here. I hate Ice Cavern. It hates me. Like, we have mutual disagreements.
Right. No, I am the worst at Shadow Temple. By far. I love the temple. I don't care how linear it is. I love the temple. I still think,
cool.
As I've been saying since Season 2, when I first started commentation, I still think Spirit and Shadow Temple should have their names swapped. And I will lobby for that till the day I die.
Yeah. The fact that, like, your mirror shield, yeah, I can see that. The thing that drives me nuts is that when you look at the song order, Requiem is before Nocturne, but then you look at the medallion order, and like the Shadow Medallion is always before the Spirit Medallion, and which is fine. I don't care one way or another. Just like, we need some consistency here. Like, are we doing the shadows first, or are we doing the spirits first? And y'all got to make up your mind, because this inconsistency is driving me crazy.
I think, at least in vanilla, it's supposed to be you could do either one first, even though it pushes you to do shadow first with what Navi says and everything.
Yeah, I think doing Spirit first is, I got really lost, and I just stumbled onto Spirit Temple.
I haven't played vanilla in a while, but that's another strength.
Yeah,
that is a strength too.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say.
Is that strength?
That's a strength lock strength. Exactly.
Okay, so that could be our path to Morpha if our long shot is out at Spirit Temple. Or in GTG Push Block Room.
Interesting spot to put Furor's Wind here.
I would have pushed on a little bit farther and put Furor's Wind farther in.
That's what I would have done. Because that sets Furor's Wind at the room with the invisible spinner. Which...
I would have at least gotten to the next door, you know?
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a hike should SeYsEy want to go back to Shadow versus just kind of pushing on for a little bit. And SeYsEy not doing Force Temple right now. Pushing to kind of stay in logic.
Force Temple is in logic, though. But he doesn't know that because his strength is out of logic.
Exactly. So choosing to find an in logic strength, which, you know, he'll stumble onto here pretty soon.
Right. But he is going to go through the maze, though.
Yeah, but would be a nice quick not quick, God, 15 minutes. But a dungeon that SeYsEy needs to do eventually.
Right.
And gonna find strength too here.
The only thing I don't like about Shadow Temple is all of the keys are required, so you have to check all the checks 99% of the time. Oh, Ryu's trying to backflip off this chest to grab the skull. He gets it.
Yeah.
No, SeYsEy could finish. He just didn't want to because he was going out of logic because his strength was out of logic.
Yeah, and at the end of the day...
yeah, that's SeYsEy. That's what I said, brain.
Oh, yeah, no, you're good. At the end of the day, Shadow is still a stone dungeon, so may not be required. And they're both kind of pushing this because it was a path hint. Remind me what it was path to, because I don't remember.
Temple to Morpha.
To Morpha, thank you. Which is interesting, it being strength 2.
Oh, also, this is strength 2 locked, hammer locked, bomb bag. In the maze.
Well, that's weird.
There's 30 skulls dead. And that's a big Poe bottle. That puts Big Poe's in logic. It was already in logic, but...
Alpha, from what we know, that's bomb locked because of the bomb wall in Shadow Temple. So, interesting. Yes. So every time SeYsEy gets an in logic strength, or something in logic, he proceeds to get something very out of logic afterwards.
Bottom of the well hook was just one of the freestanding chests that you could get to without anything.
Yeah.
One of the invisible wall chests. And that is time on Bolero.
Interesting.
So this is as far as Ryu can get.
Yeah, no hook shot. So Forrest is going to come down here.
Flop. Yep. This is a good play. I like setting for Forrest here.
Yeah, there's no hook shot from not doing well. This is where it's going to start hurting Ryu, and hopefully we'll find something in DC, which is Dodongo's Cavern, which is where Ryu's probably going next. But unable to do some of these other hookshot locked locations, most specifically Forest, that you want to do right now.
Oh yeah, you want to get, as the saying goes, push your progression. A lot of seeds reward you for pushing your progression. I would say more than 50% rewards you for pushing progression.
Yeah. And so you're gonna, SeYsEy almost certainly is using this opportunity to just kind of clear out path, Goron City, grab an extra song, get himself in a position to then go and do Dodongo's Cavern. Because there are still a lot of items that are required. A long shot, a hammer.
Light arrows.
I think, never mind. There's a lot less items than I was expecting.
Iron boots are still logically required.
Oh, we need iron boots. Yeah, you're right. Okay, there's 4. I was like, I swear we haven't picked up... I knew that we picked up a lot of items. I didn't realize that we had picked up that many items, or at least that we were aware of that many items.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we still need long shot, irons, hammer, a light arrows, which we'll get a hint for, and we still logically need either no wait, we can do both Jabu and Shadow, so we could get Requiem, so we don't really need Lens anymore.
Yeah. The one thing that SeYsEy doesn't know that Ryu does. Oh, I love this strat. Shield turn. Just a gentle
shield turns. I had to learn those too.
Just a gentle reminder: don't climb the ladder. You will soft lock the game if you climb the ladder during this animation. Just don't do it. It's not worth it.
Oh, there's a Zora tunic on top. I thought that was a blue heart, little heart refill on Ryu's side because his hearts are blue, but it's just a Zora tunic on top of the Dodongo's Cavern. So that means that it is no longer the path and shadow possibility.
Oh, to find like a wallet or tunic or some BS like that. Yep. Yeah, I think if you are SeYsEy in this position, right? So you're gonna beat DC here. Excuse me. You're going to do forest afterwards. Do you rush spirit and confirm whether spirit is beatable?
Oh yeah, no. If you're in SeYsEy's position, you have with his item layout right now and what he can and can't do. I would say you either go forest after this, or you go and you cross the wasteland and see if you're key locked in Spirit Temple or boss key locked in Spirit Temple.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
So you either go and check and see if you need to do all dungeons, because you can go and do your dungeons right now. Your all dungeons right now, or you do forest first and then go do that. But that is on your list of things to do in this adult section.
Yeah, I think forest would be a higher priority at this point, because you know that you can complete it and you have minuet, and so it's just like just do your dungeon. But yeah, no, spirit is like, I totally agree with you. High on that priority list. Yeah, so it's really fire and water that are kind of the last two dungeons that we don't know much about.
Right, which also means that they're probably our last two dungeons. At least logically. Well, maybe not. Spirit might be our last logically. I guess it depends on item layout. There's a gold scale.
Love that dual opening. That was nice. So, and you'll notice when you're kind of comparing the two runners. So the two runners are basically in the same spot in the dungeon. Of course, Ryu has unlocked the eyes, and SeYsEy hasn't yet. But then you start to look at what the runners have completed. I don't think that there's anything that Ryu has done that SeYsEy hasn't done. I think SeYsEy has covered all the same ground that Ryu has covered, and also
Sora's domain and turning in letter.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
has done domain. You are correct.
Spending a bit longer as child, but not doing well.
Yeah,
is the difference here. In items.
And SeYsEy has already full cleared DC. Oh, and Bomb Tree Bowling. You're right, Alfalfa. And full cleared Goron City, Death Mountain Trail, Death Mountain Crater, and Bottom of the Well. So I'm just kind of looking at the two runners side by side as they're both finishing up this next medallion. And, while Ryu kind of benefited from that bomb bag, I feel like SeYsEy's route has benefited SeYsEy just a little bit more in getting that hook shot, in getting that boomerang, in getting that mirror shield. Yep.
And the hook shot.
Yep.
Oh, you said hook shot first, Brian.
That's all right. So SeYsEy's route is just kind of pushed a little bit more advantage than Ryu's route at this point.
Mm-hmm. And until Ryu goes back to do well, he's gonna look like he's behind, even if he is or is not, just because it has a hook shot, and we require both of them. It really depends on if we have to go to ice, or if we have to go to ice for anything, or if you have to do Jabu Jabu. Ryu's route is not better, but it helps him get to there a bit faster.
Yeah.
Like, well, not necessarily for Jabu, because SeYsEy can just turn in and go and do it.
With scale, Scale and Serenade makes that a pretty quick jot over to Jabu should he want.
But if it's ice that you have to go do.
Yeah.
That'll help out Ryu a lot more, having turned the letter in already.
Exactly.
Also, Ryu about to pick up a second bomb bag, and I believe the other item in there was the big Poe bottle from the maze.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if after doing kind of Goron City, Death Mountain Crater, Death Mountain Trail, cleaning out some of those. If Ryu goes to ice, I think there's an argument towards doing Ice Cavern at this point.
We know it's Bolero, but it's still 4 other checks, plus the checks inside the fountain. And you have the fairy fountain there. So technically it's 1, 2... You can peak with Gold Scale the Icy Waters.
Yep.
So we'll call that 3. And then 4 checks inside ice. So that's 7 checks and a song. But we know the song.
And then throw on King Zora as your eighth check. And so quite high value.
Right. Also, it is now time for Happy 1 Hour, everybody. Shoutouts to our 2 runners, RyuuKane and SeYsEy. Shoutouts to our 2 trackers today, Diesler and Baseball. Shoutouts to my co-com Doc. Always love to have you on. And then shoutouts to our restreamer Shiro. Shoutouts to our race monitor for today, Camille and Aosuna. And of course, we have a French restream today being put on over at Aosuna's channel.
Yeah. And of course, shout outs to my co-commentator, Matt Monk Adam. Always a pleasure doing comms with you and hanging out with you. I couldn't see what that was from Ryu's side, but I trust Ryu's ability to peek.
Right. I don't think that's anything in the wall. SeYsEy peeked it as well from the more traditional spot.
Ah. Yeah, I find the peeking from the pedestal tends to give me a good view.
Also, in case our trackers missed it, Ryu did just pick up Song of Time there.
I totally forgot that he bought the tunic. I was like, oh my god, Ryu! Diver!
Yep. Oh, of course, we know diving in the lab is ice arrows.
Oh yeah, so gold scale could be helpful if they never find iron boots. Gives them another way to possibly beat Water Temple. So that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, with gold scale, you have to do map chest first.
Yep.
But when you have the choice, are you a compass or map first kind of person?
Map. All day, every day.
Thank you.
Anyone who says otherwise is just fooling themselves. No, I like it because it is overall more efficient to do map first if you're planning on doing multiple checks. But if you do find something in the first 3, being compass, map, or cracked wall, it is technically faster to do it because you don't have to change the water level. But map first all the way, all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with chest size matches contents, because then you can do the peak for compass chest, which just makes it even faster to do it once the water level's down. Oh, it's so nice. And I will be the only person who are, well, no, I guess apparently you also are on my side, but most other people will do compass first, and they're wrong.
Like, okay. So, if you don't have irons or gold scale, you just have, or if it's a barren water temple, and you don't have ZL, I'll do compass first.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. Totally.
I've seen ZL-less water temple before, and it's so fast and it's so nice. Also, we are seeing Ice Cavern from Ryu here.
We're doing ESS turns? Hell yeah. I see up
turns are also another good thing to learn.
Oh, I see up that all the time. Just see up. I know exactly where my icon should be aligned, and just approach it that way. So, if there's something in Ice Cavern, I think this is really advantageous for Ryu, because I don't think SeYsEy is going to be going to ice in some time. I think SeYsEy's route is more than likely going to push them towards GTG and Spirit Temple. That's kind of their next place.
Yeah. Right, because they didn't get Rudo's letter in their first child section there. So they don't have ice available in this adult section.
Correct. So this, if you're rooting for Ryu, you kind of want something in here. Because this is kind of a unique location that SeYsEy is just not going to be going to for a while.
Right, either this fairy fountain on this little platform here in the icy waters could be interesting because then we need iron boots. I don't think long shot could be in this area. Well, long shot's right there.
Speaking
long
of,
shot's just right there.
and just immediately piecing.
That's really good for Ryu. That is like, I would say that puts Ryu in the lead. If it's hard AD,
I had to get paused because I was like, I don't know if it's in the lead, but it certainly gives Ryu a huge advantage.
Oh yeah.
So definitely, I think when you're talking advantages right now, bottom of the well, which should be higher on Ryu's plate, versus SeYsEy needing to go back to ice. And there's light arrows. So all we are missing
is hammer.
Is hammer. Yeah.
Hammer and possibly irons. It's probably irons. It's probably irons from Shadow Temple at this point now.
Because that strength was strength locked, and water does not require strength 2 in isolation. Like by itself, the water temple does not require strength 2. So yeah,
it's probably either that strength 2 for irons in GTG or Spirit Temple, or it's irons farther in Shadow Temple.
Yeah, and fire arrows and third sling. So, which I doubt. I mean, it can't be fire arrows at this point because we have Dins,
right?
And it's certainly not
still a Forest of All path. I forgot.
It's certainly not Slingshot 3.
Lord have mercy! Can you imagine?
Oh my god! I mean, well, we already got one slingshot, lock slingshot. Why not another?
Right.
Yeah. No, if SeYsEy finds hammer here, SeYsEy is long shot from go mode, which means that SeYsEy is going to fly through dungeons.
Also, but they'll orphan that long shot for a long time.
Yeah. But again, like we have a lot of seed to go.
Right, there's still a lot of seed to go.
And one of the challenges is that if hammer is in here, both of them will be missing a hook shot with a wide open seed.
Right.
So,
but as pointed out in chat, Ryu is going to visit well long before SeYsEy thinks Vice Cavern.
More than likely. Also, welcome on in the Silver Gauntlets. I know we were talking about Challenge Cup earlier. No spoilers if you are coming from that race. But I believe that it was one of the Challenge Cup semifinal matches.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I have to go back and watch that later.
Yeah, so that should be a good watch.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
thanks, Death Star.
But yeah, no, the long shot was in the Sora's Fountain Ferry, which is the Ferora's Ferry for those who don't know. I still think I'm the only one that refers to them by the items they give.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to remember that it's Zora's Fountain Ferry and not just Ferora's Ferry, so I could convey that to chat.
so my problem, and people roast me for this all the time. The very first time that I played vanilla, the OG Ocarina of Time, was January 2021, after I'd been playing Rando for a year and a half.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
this was my first Zelda game. There's Hammer, by the way.
There it is. Yep. So I'd never played Ocarina of Time before, like at all. I'd played Majora's Mask, but I'd never played Ocarina of Time until I'd played Rando for about a year and a half.
This was my very first Zelda game. I fell in love with the series, and I have played every single Zelda game that has ever come out, besides the CDI games, because they do not exist. You cannot convince me otherwise. And Spirit Tracks, because I never had the system they were on when it came. I didn't have the system that it was on when it came out.
Yeah. What's the rundown of the seed? I think looking at and now chat's giving me grief about my inability to play Link to the Past. So that kind of gets you most of the way. I think the biggest divergence was Ryu did not do well, which forced Ryu to do, but did get letter as child. And so did River Domain, found Bomb Bag in Domain, but opened up Ice. Whereas SeYsEy did well, got Hookshot and Bomb Choose in well, but then didn't get letter until Adult 2. So SeYsEy has not turned in letter and therefore has not gone Ice. But both of these runners are going to start converging together to have everything but one Hookshot. It'll be Ryu's bottom of the well versus SeYsEy going Ice.
Right, and chat pointed out Ryu doesn't have Mirror Shield yet, but I don't see him skipping Wolfall's Grotto after coming out of Forest here.
Dear God, I hope not.
If he does, then that's just a whole other thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the one interesting thing is that when you finish... Ooh, yeah.
Oh, Forest puts you inside a Deku Tree. I forgot about that.
I love Sponges. I'm actually there. It makes me so happy. Yes, it was not Ice Cavern. It was Zora's Fountain Fairy, which is near Ice.
Right, and Irons might not be needed, as being pointed out in chat, unless it's Central Pillar for Boss Key. Yeah,
there is a 9 in 10 chance, so 90% chance that your Boss Key will be available without Iron Boots, which is a pretty damn good odds, honestly.
Also, I just realized the Boss Key for Forest Temple is in the basement.
Yo, love that. Just, you show up and Phantom Ganon's like, welcome to my basement. Here's my Boss Key. It's under the doormat. It's under the doormat. That's a Skulltula.
Right, if this was a glitched run, you could have finished Forest Temple so much faster.
Right? Thank God we only allow ground jump and flame storage. Homeboy here doesn't want to learn more glitches. Bold. My neuroplasticity is running dry.
Nice word usage, by the way.
Thank you. Every now and again, I have to prove that I actually am a doctor. People start to wonder when I just act like a child the entire time.
I am very, very curious. What is your PhD in?
So I actually have an MD.
Oh, really?
I do. And I specialize in pediatrics, specifically pediatric cardiology.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I actually have a doctorate of medicine and work far too many hours. But the kids are great, so it's worth it.
And then in your downtime, you play Ocarina of Time Randomizer.
What is downtime? I don't know what this word that you speak of.
Fair enough. You're a doctor. I should have figured that out. During the time you get that you can possibly do something else.
Right. I missed. Did SeYsEy do the quick cycle where
he did do the quick one?
It's so good. Oh, I love talking about that strat, and I wasn't paying attention.
Right,
distracted me. Ah, it's so good. Yeah, where you use a combination of jump slashes, bow shots, and crouch stabs to be able to basically just stun lock them not indefinitely, but enough to get your 6 hits.
Yep.
Ugh.
Where is SeYsEy going now? SeYsEy's going fire?
Yes, fire.
Not a bad play, honestly. It's progression.
Yeah. Progression, and it's about the fastest that you're going to be able to get to fire sans Bolero.
Also, was it just me, or did SeYsEy just loop a little there?
SeYsEy did loop as they were resyncing. I'm just surprised that Ryu got that second shot. I thought he missed both, but the ice switch was like, nah, you're good. I'll allow it.
See, what I don't understand is why nobody but me, when they have it, uses fire arrows or dins to do that. Because it's just so much faster with fire arrows, at least.
Oh, I am 100% in Camp Lazy, where I will equip fire arrows just so that I don't have to move. I can just shoot it from my couch.
Yeah, Ryu went into Jabu and set Furors there. SeYsEy didn't have his letter as child, so couldn't open up to do Ice Cavern or any of that.
I always love the different routes that people use here to move the blocks. Some people shoot from the door. Some people shoot from where Ryu did, which is kind of back by the platform. I shoot from right next to the blue block, and so you'll see lots of different. I mean, we all do the same thing, but it's fun to see the different ways that people approach it.
Right. I shoot from the door, then pick one block I don't touch, and move every other block to it. And it worked for me.
I aspire to your level of chaos.
And the thing is, I never pick the same block to not move.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, it feels like you're just like, today I'm going to pick the northeast one.
I do that with a lot of stuff. I like doing chaos runs where I pick a random thing I either never do or I do first, no matter how bad it is. I've done a seed where the very first thing I do, I don't check anything else. I just rush Skull Mask.
I'm so proud of you. One of the
I've
things
also done a seed where I pick a dungeon and I never touch it, and if it's required, I just I get a game over.
See, yeah, no, I couldn't do that because I actually enjoy finishing seeds. I was gonna point out something that Ryu was doing that is pretty cool. So Meg, the Purple Poe, with her 3 sisters, whose names
Amy, Beth, and Joelle.
Sure, you could have said John, Chris, and Sam, and I would have been like, yeah, that sounds right. So Meg, the correct Meg, spawns 1 frame earlier than the 3 imposters. And so you know which one is the correct one even before they start spinning because it spawns in a frame earlier. So if you're attuned, you can actually guess the right one and shoot it even before it turns. And that's what they're doing is they're looking for that 1 frame of early spawn. It's pretty cool.
It's the 1 frame difference.
Yeah, it's literally a 1/20th of a. God damn it. Yeah, see, Ginger, Scary, Sporty, and Posh. Those are the 4 forest ghosts.
No, they're Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all these good references. We'll see if we can get a quick cycle here from Ryu.
Oh, also another thing they can do with all of these chews is the chew strat for Vavagia is really nice.
Oh yeah, SeYsEy has more than enough juice for that. And it saves you time. Because you can do it in 2 Volvagia. Oh yes, here we go. All right, so gets the shot, gets the alignment, 2 more crouch stabs. Yep, missed a crouch stab, so elected to just kind of go with the safe strat. And you'll notice there that Ryu could have gotten a second crouch stab there, and elected not to. So requires 6 jump slashes worth of damage. However, if you have done 5 jump slashes worth of damage, Phantom Ganon decides that he wants to go full chaos mode. And the fight becomes
the fucking spiraling spear dive thing.
Considerably longer. So if you ever are at a point where you got 2 crouch stabs in cycle 1, and you know that if you get another 3 crouch stabs, you go to 5, stop at 2, so that way you have 4 total. It'll keep Phantom Ganon down low, and you can finish the fight faster than trying to go for as many crouch stabs as possible, having 5 rounds of crouch stabs, and then having the fight become considerably longer.
Alright, so Ryu did play Minuet from Finishing Forest, and is hopefully going to get Wolfos Grotto here.
Yeah.
Or might have just been coming here for the money.
Money certainly doesn't hurt. Because he'll probably want to do the Scrub Grotto, and has...
He did the Scrub Grotto on his way in.
Did he?
He did.
Oh.
He did one of them on his way in.
Cool. He did... I thought he did the grotto outside of...
Oh, he might have just done the grotto outside of...
I think it was just the grotto outside of
City.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I knew he did a grotto on his way in.
So this is probably... I'm going to grab these 2 grottos on my way to Fire Temple.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
This is his quickest way to Fire Temple as well, without getting Bolero from Ice, because he didn't go in Ice.
Oh, hold on. If you want to watch a cool strat, pop over to SeYsEy's side of the screen. Exactly what you were talking about earlier, Adam. This is some fun stuff here with the bomb chews.
Right. How many bomb chews is it? I know the bomb strat a lot better. I do 1-3-3.
So with bomb chews specifically, it's going to be 9. Because electing had missed the second bomb chew, so it's going to elect to switch up their timing a little bit. It's all about where this conversation becomes a lot more complicated is you're looking at at timing. Does he have a fairy?
I don't think so. No,
nope.
He has Big Poe and Letter.
Now,
but, he messed up his timing there. He didn't get the hammer slash when it popped back out.
Gonna reset. Yeah,
reset makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, exactly what you were talking about. Missed the hammer hit, but also missed the second bomb chew. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Volvagia is that if you do too much or too little damage at certain points or intervals, it's what triggers Volvagia to go flying. So you have to be very careful in how much damage you're doing and at what times or intervals, which is why the 1-3-3 works. Because if you try to do too much damage, it changes the cycles, and that is what causes Volvagia to go flying. There's a lot more to it than that, but it's the reason why you're going to see these runners be very particular in either their bombs or their bomb chews, because they are trying to hit certain damage values at certain points.
Right. I just know the 1-3-3 works, so...
yeah, the 1-3-3 works. The advantage of bomb chews is that you skip the second phase. So instead of having...
Also, he missed the first bomb chew.
Oh, did he?
He missed the first one. It just went off the edge. So he's doing 1-3-3 with bomb chews?
This might not work. I trust SeYsEy, but yeah, no. And again, we're talking about doing a certain amount of damage trying to hit certain damage values at certain points in the fight. And what's happening is that SeYsEy, as SeYsEy's trying to do the bomb tree strat, the bomb tree strat works because you're hitting damage values quickly and in succession, so you can do the damage and get all of the damage that you need, which then prompts Volvagia into the final whack-a-mole. Versus right now, SeYsEy's missing those damage values, and so Volvagia then triggers into the flying phase. And so if SeYsEy's going to do bomb chews, he needs to slow down the time between bomb chews so as to not do too much damage to trigger the next fly phase without doing so much damage that it skips the fly phase, goes to the next phase.
Right.
Or just needs that alignment right there. Yeah, this looks good.
6,
7,
8, and 9.
That should do it.
2, 3.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
That's it.
Always count how many fire things they make when they pop up as well. That helps me keep track.
Yep. And that's why Volvagia is so fast with bomb chews, because when it works, you actually skip that second whack-a-mole and go straight from whack-a-mole number 1 to whack-a-mole number 3. There's probably a more technical term, but we're going to call it whack-a-mole. Versus when you're doing it with bombs proper, you'd have to do whack-a-mole 1, whack-a-mole 2, whack-a-mole 3, and then you're done.
Right. So. And also, I think on the last one, it does 4 of the little flame sprouts for bomb strat. I call it little flame sprouts because I don't know. Lava spews out the holes.
Yeah, I'm sure there are more technical and speedrun appropriate names. But you got us, so this is what you get. And
hey, I don't know what you're talking about. We're a great cop team. You're the doctor, I'm the fawns. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm hilarious. So, great question. Neither runner has gotten long shot, and they are both missing different hook shots.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. SeYsEy, looks like SeYsEy's gonna cross. Calling Epona.
Now, Fire's got some really cool. I will say,
way.
Yeah. Look, there are some enemies that were programmed in this game just to be annoying. Gways are one of them. Ice Keys are another.
I have. Where is it? My top 5 enemies in OoTR list.
Now, is this like top 5 enemies that I want to murder? Or like top 5, like these are my favorite enemies. These enemies are cool.
Top 5 enemies that piss me off.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm here for it.
There you go. Number 5, everything in Water Temple.
Yeah.
Number 4, levers.
That one, Quay. Oh.
Yeah, number 3 is that one Quay. It changes based on what rule set you're playing, because if you're playing like the glitched ones where you can bomb flip up into Spirit Temple, that Quay is the worst one.
Yeah, no, that Quay, yes, I agree with you.
Number 2 is Ice Keys. And then, of course, number 1 is yourself or metagaming.
I believe SeYsEy made that during day, if I saw correctly. It should SeYsEy want to do HBA.
Horseback archery?
Horseback archery.
Right.
Yep. I'm a big proponent of the get caught by the guards when you have chest size and appearance matches contents. Because it allows you to
extension to get there.
Well, no. It allows you to peek from the jail cell.
Right. But if you have long shot from that jail cell, you can do a hook shot extension to grab the chest and get up there.
Yes, if you're swaggy and not me. The bird is called a Quay.
Yeah.
And the things that look like bubbles in Jabu are called shabloms?
Shabam.
Shabams.
Shapow. Shabams. I call them shamwows.
Ryu expertly showing how to do Volvagia when Volvagia but when Volvagia comes out of that hole, you
the
need
troll
to be
hole.
doing damage. Yeah, the troll hole. How to work around that, because that can be one of the most challenging things for an Ocarina of Time player, is working around a bad Volvagia spawn. And Ryu did it expertly. If you ever want to go back and rewatch that, I strongly recommend you do, because that was an exceptional Volvagia fight there.
Also, I don't know how well known this is, but do you know why the bubbles in Jabba Jabba's belly are called shabombs and not bubbles?
Isn't it because in Zelda 1, the scully looking things were called bubbles, and so for consistency's sake, they kept it as bubbles?
Yeah, all skulls that had the glow, fire or glow, whatever kind of color it is around them, are called bubbles, because in the very first Zelda, they were called bubbles, the ones that bounced around.
Yep.
And they were little skulls that bounced around the screen and had the 4 little circles that circled them as their aura that would curse you so you couldn't use items or something. They were called bubbles in the original, so for consistency's sake, they've kept that name as bubbles for every Zelda game ever, so when they made an actual bubble enemy, they had to call it something else. But Shabam is some kind of Japanese name with a combination, and one of the words in the combination means bubble or soap.
Interesting. All right, chat. I want commitment here. Is this seed going to require child spirit? You have to commit an answer. Yes or no.
I'm going to say yes for boss key.
Okay. Yes for boss key. Just because it keeps things interesting, I'm going to say no. That way we have 2 different opinions.
I mean, you could have said yes for small keys.
Oh, I totally could have.
Prelude.
I think it's because there's one of a few things that could happen, right? It could totally not be required, 2 dumb chests, and we move on with our lives. It can be that it's required for the only small key that's available, in which case you go get it. Exactly what you're saying. It could be required for the boss key, or the seed could say, hey, there's a small key on the child's side, which the seed logically requires you to get, but for all intents and purposes, we don't need to get that. So,
logical AD, not hard AD.
Exactly. So what I'm talking about is hard AD, hard all dungeons. They must go beat the other 2 dungeons to beat the game.
Right. SeYsEy wants all dungeon but doesn't know it, and there's a key.
All right. So at least can progress in the seed.
No, yeah. even if there's just a logical key on child side, there'll still be logical AD even without lens, because you can't even with lens, because you can't cross the desert as child. You had to get out there with the song.
So now, if you're SeYsEy and you can beat Twin Narovas, so Spirit's done, right? We're just gonna play hypotheticals here. Can beat Spirit. Where do you go next looking for your long shot?
Ooh.
I think you go GGG.
You go GGG next.
I think you go GGG next, yeah.
It's his most check dense. Then after that, you go back into Shadow.
Yeah, I could see both of those. And in fact, I could see doing Shadow first to open up your for Roar's Wind and then go GGG after. As a possibility. I could also see no irons, so you can't do water.
Right. There's boss key.
Well, never mind. Actually, it's still possible that there are no small keys available.
They're all on child.
Yeah,
you need, 3 keys?
The other 2 are on child. Yep.
You need 3 keys and boss key, and there's 5 keys. And there's only 2 child lock checks, so no matter what, you're going to be able to complete it here.
Yeah. Yeah, both go GGG next. I think there's a strong argument to going GGG next. And especially like from GGG you could Furore's Wind into Shadow Temple. Almost certainly.
You have to remember this Spirit Temple for SeYsEy could have his long shot because of Strength 2 path from Shadow.
Oh, true. Nah, you raise a good point. At this point, though, we are almost certain that these runners can now beat Spirit Temple. If they've already got 2 keys, they're going to be able to
also,
beat
this
Spirit
could
Temple.
just be Irons. It's a Goron Tunic.
It's a Goron Tunic.
There's another key. That bomb bounced weird.
So, to kind of piggyback on other people who were making mention that Longshot's not in ice, it's in Zora's Fountain, right?
Yeah.
The one nice advantage that SeYsEy has when it comes to getting that long shot is that SeYsEy can get that at either age, should he want. He can get that as a child, he can get that as adult. And that's pretty important for SeYsEy, if you're rooting for SeYsEy, as that gives him even more opportunities to be able to get that as he's starting to clean through these dungeons and these locations looking for the long shot.
But I would say 90% of runners don't check that Fountain as child until after they do Jabu.
And there's definitely a possibility of that. Depends on how much of the seed SeYsEy has done and kind of what SeYsEy might be thinking would be the next best play.
Right.
I don't even know what I would
do.
Yeah.
That fairy, I would say, of all the runners I see, I don't see anyone do it as child until after they do Jabu, or they do it as adult when they go ice. One of the two. I've never seen anyone do it before Jabu.
I think if you're missing one item, it's faster to do that check than it would be to do the 3 in Jabu. And so when you're looking for that like one singular, it's the reason why, in GGG I do left side unless I'm looking for one item, and then I go right side and then cry when it's not on the right side all the time.
So what I do for GGG, it depends on if I have Song of Time or not. If I have Song of Time, I'll always go right. If I don't, I always go left.
Oh, fascinating. I'm usually, when I go to GGG, it's usually with the intent to clean GGG. And it's faster to go left-wise when you're cleaning. But I definitely know that there are different opinions on how to approach GGG. And also different opinions on whether you should do horseback archery first before GGG or do GGG first and then horseback archery afterwards. I think that's
it depends on my time of day.
Argument.
If I have the time of day, I do it first.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely saying if you have
GGG and yeah.
Oh yeah, no. If you don't have the time of day, you're not doing horseback archery. But if you have the potential to do horseback archery, do you do it before GGG or after?
I do it first. Unless I have a hint for 1500, I do it first.
I usually do it. I used to do it second, and then I think I got burned by it enough that now I do it first, like strictly out of spite. So.
Oh, there's another big chest. Oh, another bow.
Just another bow, yeah.
Oh, also another interesting logic thing, because I've had this happen before, is that chest, the boss key chest here in Spirit, has a surprising number of actual requirements. Because of how you're supposed to do it. And it can logically, and it sucks when it happens, but it's happened to me, have your first hook shot.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Because hookshot's only required for
This.
and also the Zelda's Lullaby check down at the very first.
The very first Zelda's Lullaby check and
no,
this.
yeah. And like super technically long shot on right hand. Should that be a small key? But like you can work around those checks. Yeah, yeah. Hookshot and Deep Spirit sucks ass. And I think we've all had at least one seed where that happened.
Yep. The first hookshot on boss key chest and spirit is a pain because one, you don't have a hookshot to climb the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Two, your seat's already ass because that's your first hookshot logically.
Yeah. I have been a big fan of what SeYsEy's doing here. A lot of people have started doing this check at the end of Spirit versus the beginning of Spirit. Or kind of like that early mid Spirit. Some people do it when they're cleaning out that first courtyard. I love it at the end here. It's great. And then you do a really swaggy hook shot here. Set yourself up, hook shot the chain, and away you go. Oh, it's so nice. Clean.
Right. But no, so that chest in Spirit logic requires a bow, it requires bombs.
I don't know if you saw what Ryu did there.
No, I didn't. I was watching SeYsEy.
Oh my god, what a delight. So Ryu did some side hops, and based off of the side hops, was able to tell by his position on the invisible chest if it was a small chest or a big chest.
Right, yeah, I know that trick. In the two invisible chests right before that dark nut.
Yeah. Swaggy as hell.
Yeah, no, it's a great strat.
Sorry, I did interrupt you. You were talking about the
item requirements for Spirit boss. So you need Strength 2 to get up there. That's the only requirements to get to it is Strength 2, basically, and getting out to Spirit Temple, of course. But then so you can get here with Epona's Lens and Strength 2. You can get to this chest. Logically requiring how you're supposed to do the room is you're supposed to bomb one of the doors on the side to get up to the floating little ice platform so you can shoot the ice switch with a bow. And that's how you're supposed to do it in vanilla.
Yeah.
Because if you look in this room when you enter it, I don't remember which door it is you're supposed to bomb. But if you look, there's that floating ice platform right there, and there's an ice switch you have to hit.
Yeah, when I played this game vanilla, I forced myself to do all the rooms as intended. Which included doing things like, in Water Temple, I am going to force myself to get the boss key as intended. I'm going to force myself to raise the water level from the second to the third floor as intended. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is why we skip all of this in Rando, because this is terrible.
Wait, so that does mean you did the, from the top of Fire Temple, you did the side rooms, the DLC rooms?
Yep.
With the staircase?
Yep.
I've only seen that once in a race.
Yep. I shouldn't walk through the firewalls. I should be a good boy.
I saw those DLC rooms in this season, in this tournament.
Really?
I don't remember who did it, but I remember seeing that. One of these races. The Top of Fire DLC rooms.
Alright, so this is a pretty... I gotta admit, this is a pretty terrible feeling these two runners must be experiencing, especially SeYsEy. Having just finished Spirit, you know that you have 5 meds done. It is an hour 45. Not even an hour 45. This has been an incredibly fast seed. And you are missing one item from being done. Oh my god. Like, the panic of, I have how much open. I have Shadow, I have GGG, I have Ice, I have, all of these things that are open to you. And am missing one item.
Okay. Oh, I have no idea what SeYsEy just did. I missed a lot of that because he died for me.
Oh yeah. He died for me too. It looks like he just Furore's winded.
To
Shadow.
Yeah.
To Shadow, exactly.
All right.
However, he has a quarter of a heart.
Wow.
And
Spikes can kill him if he's not careful.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you saw, but equipped Goron Tunic to prevent himself from dying.
Right, because is it lava that's retextured spikes?
Yeah, it has the same damage property as lava, which is weird. And I love it.
All right, he looped for me just now.
Yeah, I think they're resyncing.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just
well, Kodak.
Yeah, so
it's like the Flare Dancers having the same damage tables as Ganon.
Mm-hmm. So there is technically, it's not allowed in standard rule set, but you can technically. I don't think is that going to work.
No.
Oh, Mr.
Timing was off.
You can technically using Goron Tunic. Well, I don't even think you need. Well, I think you need Goron Tunic. And hover boots. You can hover onto the platform and skip needing hookshot. It is an incredibly, stupidly precise trick, but it is possible.
Right. You get on the spikes with Goron Tunic, and you have to do it correctly and fast enough to not be damaged by the spikes, which is why you need Goron Tunic.
Yeah.
Because if you get damaged, it'll knock you off or mess up your positioning. And then you back walk with hover boots to grab the ledge.
It's swaggy as hell. For those who might be coming in, yeah, which is totally fine, and we love you. We love having you here.
Oh yeah.
Ryu will be finishing up the 5th medallion dungeon of the 6 required. The difference here is that they have different hook shots, and I think that's really important to understand if you're coming in late. Is that they are missing 2 different hook shots, and so the winner basically is going to come down to who gets that last hook shot first.
Right. So VXR, one hook shot was in the well, which is the one that SeYsEy got. The other hook shot is at Furore's Ferry, the one in Sora Fountain, which is the one that Ryu got.
Mm-hmm.
And SeYsEy didn't get letter in his first child, so is not able to go to Ice Cavern until he goes back child again. And not sure if he'll check that Fairy Fountain as child or as adult.
Yep. So, just a little bit... Oh, it's okay. That's okay. He said Furore's for a reason.
No, we don't have a central pillar hint. So, it could still be Iron Boots needed as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He has Furore's in that room. He's good.
Yeah, hey, it's just a health refill.
It's a strategic death. He got hit by a pot and died.
Yeah, it's so hard to say right now which is worth for which. Yeah, I cannot tell you in this moment who is going to win this race.
We've had well available since the very beginning of the season because we started with Storms, which is why I'm surprised Ryu hasn't done well yet.
So here's where things get fun. There is, and I would love to say that no one ever metagames. I love this so much.
Wow.
I gotta talk about this first. My point just totally got distracted. So without Requiem, Ryu wants to go back to GGG, but also recognizes that they want to do Shadow, and so this is beautiful. Oh, this is great.
I have not seen save file strats in ages.
Oh, this is some hot stuff. Oh, so yeah, so Ryu has a file that is in Spirit Temple to go GGG, and also has a file that is allowing him to dig Shadow Temple. And this is cool. Sorry. I don't even remember. I don't even remember what my earlier point was.
Well, something.
Oh.
Something well.
Well's cool. Well's fun. Way less cool than save strats. Oh my god, that's delicious. And again, really only works when you're missing one item, because the deeper that you go into one seed, the harder it will be to transition back to the other seed.
Right.
He's like, for example, if he finds irons here, then
he keeps going with this one.
Yeah, exactly. But if you need to go GGG, then you go GGG, and now you're starting to fracture off into different timelines, and then you win Oscars and what?
That is kind of ironic that doing this strat means he won't go Child till after he does both GTG and Shadow.
Oh my god, that's what I was going to say. So it's one of the things that's interesting about 1v1 races, especially at a high level, is at a certain point, some runners will start to what we call metagame. Where
Number one enemy in Rando.
where they will start to say, if my opponent had done X, they would have finished by now. Therefore, if I want to get an advantage, I'm going to avoid X and do Y. And where things get fascinating is when both runners don't do X and go and do Y. And then you start to see people who have GGG wide open who are doing Water Temple, and you're like, what the hell is happening?
Also, as Sponge pointed out, he could just do Shadow into bottom of the well and then reset for GTG.
Yep, very possible.
Okay. Something I've been doing for this whole season. 150 beat per minute song for Bongo Bongo. I do a different one every time. What is yours?
Having a Good Time by Queen.
All right. Today
Don't Want to Stop at All? I don't remember what that song's called. That one.
Having a good time. Having a good time. That one?
Yep, that one.
All right.
That one's 150 beats per minute.
All right. Today I'm going to go with Brompton Cocktail by Avenged Sevenfold.
All I Want for Christmas Is You is one? Oh my god. If there's a Venn diagram, right? If we create a Venn diagram of meme topics that are strictly here for color commentary and useful topics that help you with your Ocarina of Time randomizer and understanding of the game, this is the perfect intersection where we get to talk about dumb music, and also it is highly relevant to Ocarina of Time randomizer and will make you a better player.
Right.
Oh.
If you can time sword crouch stabs to a song, you can do Bongo Bongo one cycle every time.
So here's the fun story. All we've gotten in Shadow Temple was Strength 2.
Right.
We didn't find anything else. So either it is a Strength 2 locked water requirement, Morpha requirement, or it's Light Arrow cutscene.
Right. Light Arrow cutscene or GTG pushback room have irons at this point.
Yeah. Or yep. Somebody else mentioned outside Ganon's Castle Fairy could have it. I know that we found it. We had a hint about outside Hyrule Castle, but I don't think we saw an outside Ganon's Castle.
We got hint. The Din's Fairy hint, not the double defense fairy hint.
Awesome.
The double D fairies, the TD fairy.
Yeah. Yeah. And like also I don't disagree with SeYsEy chasing the Path to Morpha hint. When you are missing one item and that item is to beat Morpha and you have one unfulfilled path, which is to say to Morpha, like 1,000% you chase that.
The Dense Fire Fairy hint, it says outside Hyrule Castle Fairy, and it was hinted dead. I think it was like arrows or something.
Yeah. I don't know. My brain, anytime, if you have troubles reading hints fast, here's the thing. If you see numbers, it's dead. And it's so great. Like, if you just look and you see numbers, it's dead. And you're done. And you move on.
Can we talk about Epona running into the smallest pixels and stopping right in front of the bridge?
I think Epona might cost SeYsEy time of day.
It did.
It did. Yeah. Those pixels cost SeYsEy time of day from doing horseback archery, which we know will save SeYsEy time. SeYsEy is going to be kicking himself having missed it by seconds. Literal seconds.
Felix, I think you're the number one person who does that to Comms team.
I have definitely read hints into Oblivion, i.e. I read Death Mountain leads to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, cool, Death Mountain Trail, got it. And it was Crater. and I lost that race, in case anyone was wondering.
That sounds about right. Also, that was... Oh.
Second Magic. Mm-hmm.
Is this... Yeah, Second Magic in GTG. Also, is this Ryu going to do bottom of the well? Oh, he's checking lax. It's nothing. Nope, he's just checking lax, and now he's going to go do GTG.
Mm-hmm. Yep, gonna open up save file number 2. There it is, baby! There it is!
This is great. I love this.
I loved the like collective confusion of like, why is Ryu save quitting when in Temple of Time after having save quit? That is why.
Baseball.
Well, we don't know what seed he's gonna end up playing. We are in Schrodinger's Goron Rupee, where he both has and has not beaten Shadow Temple.
That is great. I love it.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. This is great.
Until we have observed the result, we cannot say for certain what state the object is in. So like every now and again, if you just want to like click it and then unclick it and then maybe click it again and then unclick it, like you're welcome to.
Or I could just sit here with my mouse hovering over it and do this.
Yeah, and that's why after GGG, I think we're gonna get some convergence here, and I think this race is gonna be pretty damn close at the end.
This could be Iron Boots right here.
Yeah,
it is strength 2 locked in GGG.
Because once
my cat just banged the door open, scared the crap out of me.
There it is.
Iron Boots. Yep. There it is. There is our path.
Yeah, because once SeYsEy's done here. SeYsEy's probably going to dip water. Never mind. I take it all back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you
dip
have
water.
Hookshot and irons, you go dip water.
Yeah, you dip water and you set Forest Wind. Yep. But then after that, you're kind of limited on like where do I go next? And ice is the next best play for SeYsEy after dipping water. And the interesting thing is that bottom of the well is the next best play for Ryu after doing GGG and dipping water. So I think we might see some convergence here. And I think this might be a pretty damn close race.
Mm-hmm. I think Ryu will keep the Iron Boots over the Shadow Temple completion. Just because it could be Central Pillar boss key in water.
Yeah. And this is what I had mentioned earlier about like once the timelines start fracturing, you're gonna start doing X amount of checks or items in one place and Y amount in the other, and then you're like, crap, which one do I keep?
Mm-hmm.
But
right,
God,
I think you would keep Iron Boots over the possibility of Longshot being in Spirit Temple Child side.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Because you're right, it's literally just 2 checks that you're betting against at this point by scumming away Shadow Temple.
Yeah. Also, interestingly enough, neither runner did my strat of you have Song of Time, go right side first.
I told you, it's just faster if you're planning on doing well. I think in their case they're chasing the strength too,
right.
But it's just, you know, I love, and this is why I love commentary, is that you get an opportunity to talk about routing differences and why one route might be preferred over another in different situations, and then watching runners do different routes and be like, oh, well, it makes sense in this runner's case that they chose to do it this way, but in this runner's case, they chose to do it that way.
Right.
So...
But when you're chasing a strength 2 hint, you always do left side first.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
I'm not even going to argue against that.
Yeah. And then they went, crap, this is Iron Boots. I didn't want Iron Boots. I wanted Long Shot.
Yep.
And so away they go.
Also, likes, not in the top 5 worst enemies, but they get an honorable mention.
Does anyone know where Long Shot is? Yes. So, see also Felix's comment.
Both runners have separate hook shots.
Exactly. And that's what makes the seat spicy. Or at least this race spicy.
Mm-hmm. A good race for a semifinal.
Yeah. And, hold on. Yo! Welcome in ZeldaSpeedRuns, party of 74. We got Ocarina of Time Randomizer. And you know what we didn't do at the 2-hour mark, which would be a fabulous thing to do right now?
I will do it right now. Shoutouts to our runners.
Yeah.
RyuuKane and SeYsEy. Shoutouts to our 2 trackers today. Baseball and Diesler. Shoutouts to my co-com. Doc Heaps. Shoutouts to our French restream for today, which is over on Aosuna's channel. And then, of course, shoutouts to our race monitors, which are Camille and Aosuna today.
And, of course, my co-commentator, Mad Monk Adam over here. Who's had to put up with my BS for the last 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Oh, I enjoy this comms team. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, the bomb strats are so good.
Oh, yeah. Also, and if you, too, want to volunteer, I spelled that completely wrong. Holy crap.
Yes, I too would like to volunteer. Just volunteer. You can click on that link if you want to volunteer or volunteer or like whatever the hell you want to do. You know, click the link. It's fun.
I'm gonna go with that's Cajun French, and you can't prove me wrong.
So, some of you who might have come in may not have ever seen an Ocarina of Time randomizer race. If not, welcome. Join our little group. We're so much fun. But
we like to have fun here.
We did sometimes. Mostly just scream into the void. It's rando. And so what you're seeing is the base game is Ocarina of Time, of course. There are 6 medallion that they need to obtain in order to beat the game. Those medallions are located within dungeons that typically reward things like either medallions or stones. And so we don't shuffle those into the pool. They remain with with bosses, but the boss and the boss reward are shuffled. There is a pedestal that lets us know which dungeons we do need to beat in order to beat the game. And of course, the challenge of this randomizer is finding the items that are required to beat those dungeons. So right now, they need they are missing one medallion, which is located after beating Morpha in Water Temple, as you'll see by the red medallion that has been grayed out or darkened. And the item that they are both missing is Long Shot in order to accomplish that. And so that is kind of where we're at in the seed now. They are 5 medallions done. They are missing a 6th medallion, and the Long Shot is the item that they are looking for.
Yep.
So there's the whole of Ocarina of Time randomizer in a 1 minute elevator pitch.
There's strength 3.
Oh, that's not what you want to see.
In boss key chest.
Oh wait, that's Long Shot locked.
That is Long Shot locked.
Oh, that is huge information. Huge information. So what that says is that
he did not save with it. He scummed it.
Yep. That says that Long Shot cannot be Strength 3 locked, which is glorious. And so you see that and you go, buy Strength 3. Bye. And the reason why you want to save scum that is because you need 2 keys in order to do the boss key chest
90%.
as well as the Dark Link loop. Oh, I love this peak. I love it so much. 4 side hops left, 2 right. Oh, beautiful. And this is why you do compass second. Shh.
We're getting a horseback archery, a clean 1650.
Clean 1650. Now we get to see if these iron boots are actually going to pay out.
All right. Where does Ryu go now?
I think Ryu does Valley into
Water Temple?
Yep. Yeah. You don't want to miss a Long Shot in Valley Waterfall, for example.
What is SeYsEy setting up for a peak here?
Yeah, this is a really cool peak here. Swim along the wall until you get the room loaded. Back all the way up, and then unequip iron boots, and you can see the corner of the chest, and so he knows that it's not a boss key. Oh. Chest size and appearance matches contents made Water Temple so much more fun to play because you can just peek all these things.
Also, this peak with bomb shoes.
Oh, hold on. No, he's doing this with hovers. Side hop.
Oh. Nice. No,
yeah,
he misses.
Yeah, I saw it from his face. He meant to do a side hop. And missed the stick input. So
Ryu's not having a good time right here in Valley Lake.
Yeah. It can be challenging sometimes as somebody who is a runner. Who occasionally races and then, loses.
Right. It's a sign, go child, right?
Don't mind me. It's very easy to, when one executional mistake happens, to have things start to snowball, where more and more executional mistakes start to build up, and getting that mindset of, okay, I need a reset point where I might be doing a terrible Shadow Temple, but when Shadow Temple is done, I'm going to reset and just like mentally reset. Giving yourself reset points can be very helpful in long seeds to prevent that mental anguish or those mental mistakes from building and building and building. Mm-hmm. Do I do it all the time? No, absolutely not. But like, is it helpful? Yeah, totally.
Also, Lunkers in chat.
Oh no. Why?
I still have in volunteer talk that my submission for a Lunker emote still in there.
Oh no. You know whose race was responsible for that, right?
Yours?
Mine. Ooh. Yeah. Unsurprising that.
But it wasn't your Wii that crashed. You just paused on the lunker screen.
That's yeah. So the it was a collaborative effort. We'll say that.
Also, there's Bosky and River.
Yeah, and again, does not surprise me that you're just gonna dig through Water Temple until you find Bosky or Longshot. So doesn't it all surprise me?
And the bad thing about not having Longshot when you first go into Water Temple is you can't set for Aurorus and Quick It.
Yeah. And checking that. So this is Child. So SeYsEy more than likely is going to be doing I think really Jabu's about it. Jabu hasn't done Bombchu Bowling, so we'll want to pick that up. But this
what
might
else does he have left?
Well, and I think that's why this might be like I need to set up for Ice Cavern as my next highest density. So I think I think we're gonna have a fairly close race, all things considered. Should Ryu decide to go to bottom of the well next?
That's his most check dense location left after this.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have much else.
Yeah, because I would not be surprised if SeYsEy does Zora's domain after doing these areas. Yeah. Which is just going to cost time. Like, it's just going to bleed time. And so it all depends on when Ryu... So Ryu's got about another 5-6 minutes left in water.
Yeah.
And then has to age change, and then has to go well, and then has to dig out well. So I think should Ryu go immediately to well after this, I think Ryu's about 8 minutes away from Longshot, which, depending on when SeYsEy turns in letter, SeYsEy might have a little bit of an advantage at this point. But it's hard to say right now. There's so much that's still available.
Right, SeYsEy's doing a lot of child cleanup here. Dompe digging, bomb tree bowling. Gonna do both domain, probably Jabu.
Yeah. And this is Skulls, almost certainly.
Ryu, what you gonna do?
I think this is Ryu. I see what Ryu did. Thinking about, like, can I, like, I'm looking for a long shot. Do I go do outside Ganon's castle? And I think played Prelude, thought about it even more, and was just like, there is absolutely zero chance that outside Ganon's castle can have a long shot, and that's when you see the reset.
Right. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it was just taking Ryu a moment to, like, put together, can Longshot be an outside Ganon's castle, yes or no?
They stopped checking hints a long time ago. We never got the 40 hint. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if you're a runner, I'll tell you, you start to get a little worried at a certain point of, like, could Longshot just be on 40? Am I at 10 skulls and I have basically just screwed myself? Maybe.
Yeah. A child fishing for SeYsEy. Makes sense. You're gonna do child, lake cleanup, do domain checks. It'll be interesting to see if he goes to the fairy fountain or does Jabu first.
Yep. And that's why I'm saying like it's way we don't have enough information here to be able to call who might win this. However, SeYsEy is at least moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Slowly crawling towards that Zora's fountain fairy. Yeah, the only thing that could keep SeYsEy from that is if SeYsEy decides that they want to rush ice, which it doesn't look like that's the case, and do something like set Furores and Jabu, and then decide to check that fountain as adult, which is possible. So we'll just kind of see at this point what
they did decide to set Scarecrow.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair thought. As you know that Pierre's a small key, and God forbid your long shots and deepest fire. It's the last thing you want. Yep. Look, this is SeYsEy realizing I am missing one item, and I have jack all direction to be able to tell me where I should go. I don't have my path hint was for iron boots. I have no other hints towards hook shot, and I have a vast array of the seed wide open and available to find that hook shot.
Also, they never turned in Big Pope Bottle.
Oh, yeah.
I just realized that as well. But that's a quick check.
Yeah, so Ryu is going to be out of water in about the next 60 seconds is where we're at right now.
Yeah, not too much longer. Kinda do Dark Link and then jump river, get Bosky, and leave.
And at this point, has a high chance of going bottom of the well.
Also, SeYsEy has a really bad spread for these rupees.
Yeah.
That's almost a 4 dive.
Do you want to know something fun about Dark Link?
What's that?
You cannot crouch stab Dark Link.
Really? I never noticed that.
Dark Link doesn't take damage if you crouch stab him.
Huh. I've always done the Z target facing forward and hit them with the side slash.
Oh yeah, it's a classic. I've started using Deku Nuts because it's faster. But whenever I miss the jump slash, my monkey brain kicks in and goes, oh well, you can just crouch stab it. And then I oh yeah, I can just crouch stab it. And then I crouch stab it, and I'm like, oh wait, I can't crouch stab it.
So how I did it in vanilla is I rushed as fast as possible as soon as I got adult Big Goron sword, and then I just rush the trade quest as adult when I play vanilla, and then I just do crouch stabs with Big Goron sword, and that works on Dark Link for some reason.
All right, Ryu, where are you going?
That is Minuet from Ryu. What the hell? SeYsEy just going into Jabu.
I love
has
this.
her oars out.
I love this so much. Yeah, it's faster to put roars here. If you put roars here, you skip needing to kill the 4 jellyfish in that last tentacle room. I call it a uvula because I'm doctor. So you get to skip the last uvula, or after killing the last uvula, you get to skip killing the jellyfish.
So if you're talking about Jabu, I would think that very first switch you hit going into him is the uvula.
Oh, is this an ice play? Interesting. Interesting.
Also, welcome in CSR3.
Yeah. So, oh God, you want to talk about this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, where a runner might think, if the item is in bottom of the well, I have already lost. Therefore, I'm not going to do bottom of the well.
Right.
Because at any point,
I lose, that kind of thing.
Yep. If at any point Ryu just did bottom of the well, this game would be over. And so, and do I blame Ryu? Absolutely not. Have I done AD before doing GGG? Oh yeah, totally. And also, like it as a spectator, it can be challenging to watch and easy to judge. And I think one of the things is just to remember that we all make decisions for a reason, and these runners are here for a reason. And so, while you look back from the couch perspective and you're like, oh, why isn't he going to the bottom of the well? At the end of the day, they're in winners bracket semis. And so what they've been doing has gotten them to this point. And, just utmost respect for these runners and their plays.
Also, that is a good thing to note about this race, is that this is not a lower bracket race. The loser of this race will still be in the tournament.
Exactly.
We forget because it's so late in the tournament, but this is a winner bracket race.
Yeah. For those of you who just came in from Zelda Speedruns 3, this is Ocarina of Time Randomizer. The goal, of course, is to get our 6 medallions, which are listed down below, and beat their respective dungeons. So what we are missing is to beat Morpha in Water Temple, and what that requires is a long shot. And as you can see, both these runners have a hook shot, and have different hook shots. It's important to remember. Ryu missing the one in well. SeYsEy, sorry, the hover boot strat. Oh, so clean. SeYsEy missing the one.
Backflip, grabbing the last
yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, that is so nice.
It's so clean. SeYsEy missing the one just outside of Jabu there in Zora's Fountain Fairy. So what did I say?
Zora's Fountain Fairy is correct. I call it Aurora's Fairy.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that where you get Aurora's Wind?
Yes.
Oh, fun fact.
Would you like to know what all the fairy fountains are?
I mean, if I ever played vanilla, I would totally take you up on that. For all intents and purposes, I don't care. Because Jin's fire could just be in like Dompe digging.
Mm-hmm. Also, yeah, this is SeYsEy playing for ice. By the way.
Yeah, there's the minuet. So almost certainly, based off of the time it will take SeYsEy to get to Zora's Fountain, this is looking to be SeYsEy taking the W today.
Yeah.
Barring that SeYsEy doesn't skip the check. It will be faster for SeYsEy to get to Zora's Fountain than it will be for Ryu to go to bottom of the well at this stage.
Yeah. Also, okay, Nasa. The only one that's widely used by the whole community is Din's Ferry is outside of Hyrule Castle. So where you get Din's, it's just easier to say Din's Ferry for a lot of people. The fountain in Zora's Fountain gives you Aurora's Wind. The Death Mountain Trail Fairy, the one at the very top, that one gives you your Magic 1. The Crater Fairy gives you Magic 2. Outside Scanning's Castle Fairy gives you double defense. And the Colossus Fairy gives you Nehru's Love.
I think it's interesting that... Oh, Colossus Fairy is Nehru's. Oh, it's the outside Ganon's Castle that's double defense. That's right. Because I'm like, by the time you get Strength 3, do you really need double defense anymore? And I guess if you're new to the game, like, double defense would be very helpful.
It's literally the one of the last items you get in vanilla.
Yeah. All right, we got a long shot incoming, folks. SeYsEy is going to be about 7-ish minutes away from finishing at this point. Beat Morpha 6 minutes from Prelude, basic, more or less. So we are walking into the last few minutes of this race. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. This has been a great one.
Oh, it has. Also, as chat pointed out, the Death Mountain Trail and Death Mountain Greater Fairy both give you a magic. It doesn't matter the order you do them in. If you don't care about using furores in Forest Temple and in vanilla.
Yeah. Hold on, give me just a second. I'm gonna mute myself. Give me just a momentito.
Yeah, no, Ice had nothing. SeYsEy has his long shot. This is pretty much GG's. And Ryu is looking very confused.
All right, my keyboard's loud. And I was typing, and I was like, "Ooh, chat. We don't need keyboard ASMR for chat."
That's fair. But yeah, this is basically GG's for SeYsEy here. I would say.
Yeah. Great grab there. Jump slash, crouch stab. Just like the textbook wrote it. Which is fun, because that's a strat that's only available in Ocarina of Time Randomizer when you get rid of the opening cutscene. Cool.
Yeah. A lot of the cutscenes help.
Yeah.
Shorten the races.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the cutscene for Twin Rova, you still had to climb up top for it to initialize the fight?
Yes.
And so that added like 2 minutes to the fight for no reason.
Look, I was around in the days where you had to get the letter and turn that into Zelda and get Zelda's song.
Yeah.
You started with 0 songs for free, and thank God those days are over. Oh hell!
As I said, I joined in season 2, so I remember having to do the Zelda stuff, and then I remember when they cut out the maze with the guards, but you still had to go in there and get Talon woken up. And I remember needing Stone of Agony for hint stones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Stone of Agony. Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ryu going Deep Fire, he has literally written well off completely in his mind as if it's there, I've lost.
Yep. And again, you have to make choices when you are playing a 1v1. And you know, part of looking at it is, who is my opponent? What is my opponent good at? Are they good at routing? Are they good at execution? Do they prefer certain locations or dungeons? What am I good at? Am I good at routing? Am I good at execution? Am I good at last locationing items? Like, you gotta look introspectively and be like, where, if I am to gain a win, where can I gain this win, and what choices does that mean? And so I don't at all blame Ryu for this decision. It just sucks that the location with the highest density in the game is the location that had Ryu's item.
Oh, sorry, another thing that popped up in chat because of Rush Deku. Remember when you still had to have Kokiri Sword to do child fishing, so it added a bit more value to it?
Oh, yes. And there was a point where Kokiri Sword was logically required for Dead Hand in Well.
Yeah, Dead Hand in Well.
Yep. These are throwbacks that I'm glad that the randomizer community has moved forward is all I have to say. Because if we had to do that bull crap again, I think I would officially file my retirement instead of all of these Fox retirements that I've been doing.
I want to see a throwback weekly race where they go back to season 1 settings.
I want to say that every year somebody puts together a race where they do season 1. Oh, wow, it was Alfalfa. That's right. I knew somebody had done it recently.
They say dying to... Oh, no, fairy.
No, they got a fairy. They're good. They're good. Oh, I did mispronounce foe. You are correct.
Salt and Pepper giving SeYsEy a bit of a hard time there. Oh yeah, no, Ryu is definitely in the I've lost this race and now I'm messing up all my execution mode, sadly.
And now people are like, oh, did you mean Fa? No.
Fa? Fa's good.
Fa's great. The
French community up in arms.
Yeah. Look. My second language is Spanish. Like we don't got weird letters like that in Spanish. Spanish is straightforward. It's a nice language.
Right.
I
know 4 languages.
French just has weird letters in weird places and weird spaces.
I know 4 languages.
Do you really?
English, Southern, bullshit, and sarcasm.
There it is.
I do know bits and pieces of Cajun French. But that's just because I'm Cajun French and I live in Louisiana, so I have to know parts of it.
I know.
It's extremely bad French is a great way to put it.
SeYsEy showing off a nice 1-cycle Ganondorf. It's a small few frame window where you can keep Ganondorf stunned without him, flying back up, and so you can get all that damage that you need all in one clean sweep, and it's really nice when it's pulled off well.
Mm-hmm.
So, chat, if there are any questions that you have that you would like to have us ask these runners, now would be the chance to get them in chat, and we'll happily look through the questions and take the ones that seem appropriate.
Right. Don't be keep it clean. Be respectful of the runners. They didn't have to volunteer to have this restreamed. They could have ran it without it being restreamed completely.
And again, exactly as mentioned before, Ryu is down but not out. Their runners have made already incredible runs through the losers bracket. I can think of one off the top of my head who has been in the losers bracket for some rounds now and is still pulling out W's. So anyone's game down there in the losers bracket, and at the end of the day, it is double elimination. So in order to truly win the tournament, you gotta win. You gotta win all the way through, and then still keep winning. So
right.
Ryu has all the time in the world to come back up through the losers bracket and make for an amazing grand finals.
Right. Speaking of, let's talk about their next possible races real quick. SeYsEy will face the winner of What the Hell's Happened in Bro Tender Dose, which is the other semifinal match. That'll be nice. And then it looks like RyuuKane going into lower brackets will face whoever wins between Gavaroni and Gogeta.
All right. Okay. So, good races all around.
Yeah.
ZSR schedule right there. Zelda SpeedRun schedule. definitely mark your calendars, set your phone alarms, whatever it takes to catch these races. As we are pushing into the final rounds of Season 6, the competition just keeps getting better and better, and the races keep getting better and tighter. And God, it's going to make for some amazing final rounds of Losers Bracket into Grand Finals.
We're in lower brackets, getting close to semifinals as well. I think we're in the semifinals right now.
Yes, we are.
Of lower bracket. Oh, hello.
Hello. So you guys were talking about the next matches. SeYsEy is in the waiting room, ready to talk about the seed. Ryu did decline, understandably. Probably very frustrated with the end of the race. However, as you both said, not the end for Ryu. It is winter bracket semis, so there is a chance to come back. So definitely send GGs and some love to Ryu. But are you guys ready to bring in SeYsEy?
Oh hell yeah!
Right.
Oh, sorry. Let me quench my excitement for SeYsEy. Yo, GGs! Let's go!
That's quenching your excitement. I got
it. Yo, you are officially in winners bracket finals. How does that feel?
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't believe it. Like at the start of the tournament, I really didn't think I could make it to the final, and yeah, it feels really great.
Right.
Yo, I think we are all so excited for you. Walking into this tournament and having done so exceptionally well, all of these rounds, now making it to the winners bracket finals. I think it just speaks volumes to you as a runner and your skills and your abilities. So congratulations, GG's.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit. To get here today, you had to go through Riley, Sydney, Sora, Exodus, and now Ryu.
Actually, I didn't play Riley. I played Xeros in the first round. But yeah. Other than that, it was right.
Right, sorry. Zeros, not Riley. Brain.
Yeah.
SeYsEy's like, I have my hit list, I know.
Right. So what did you think about the seed?
The seed was pretty garbage. Like, we had everything in 1 hour, except the long shot and the iron boots. But there was a path for Water Temple that was behind Strength 2. That was either the long shot or iron boots. So I rushed everything in case it was the long shot, and of course it was the iron boots. So it was Casino at the end for the long shot. So that is pretty much the worst scenario for a seed that I want. So pretty garbage, but I think I did it well. But
yeah, and you know, as we were watching both your route and Ryu's route, it completely made sense to push Shadow Temple to then go GTG, pushing that strength 2, pushing those irons. You're right. At any point, it could have just been towards a long shot. Unfortunate that long shot, both hook shots were just in dumb locations.
Right. Yeah. Which y'all had different hook shots through the whole race.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That's pretty crazy that RyuuKane didn't do the well. I think it was pretty obvious to do it pretty early on, with Song of Storms being the starting song. So I was really surprised when I saw that he didn't have the hookshot from the well. Especially that the hookshot from the fountain is pretty hard to find, I think.
Yeah, and it just was a difference in routing because he had gotten letter in his child segment. He was able to turn it in and then go ice in adult 2. And once he got his hook shot, once he got his hook shot in adult 2, then it was like go to forest and then go to fire and then go to spirit. And so he just stayed adult for a really long time. Whereas you had gone well and then didn't get your letter until adult 2, and then you had no reason to turn in letter because you had forest and DC and spirit and fire.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think
he just didn't have a good place to ever go back child to do well.
Okay, but when he was he didn't have Zelda's Lullaby at the time he got Rudo's letter, right?
Correct. No. He did, because he did.
He did.
He did. Yeah, he
Okay.
did Child Goron City, and did Darunia's Joy there, and then went up and used Strength to open up the wall and got letter there.
Okay, yeah, because at the time I had I was missing my hook shot and my choose, my explosive, but otherwise I could have gone adult at the time. I thought about it, but like the well is too strong. This is
Right.
pretty much the best area, especially when it's open that early on. So yeah, there was no reason for me to delay it, and yeah, I think I got rewarded by that choice with the hookshot and the explosives. That helped me a lot in Adult 2.
Yeah.
Right.
My one question for you is, what were your thoughts on getting Strength 3 in Water Temple?
I was like, yeah, I don't care about it.
I watched both of you just kind of give pause of like, do I go outside King's Castle? Could this be long shot? No, I got this out of logic. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. When I saw the big chest, I was like, that's impossible, that's long shot, but I want to see what it is. And yeah, Strength 3, so I reset. But yeah, I paused for 1 or 2 seconds. Am I sure that it's out of logic? Yeah, I am sure.
Alrighty. Adam, any additional questions you got?
How worried were you about another All Dungeons Requiem?
Oh, actually, I didn't thought about it before a really long time, because I never got the hint. I don't know if Ryu got the hint, but on my own I never got it. And to be honest, I didn't think about it too much during the seed, which was a mistake, by the way. And then, yeah, when I crossed the spirit, I was like, which song am I gonna get? And yeah, I was like, maybe Requiem or Prelude. And if it's... and the other one is on the 80, so it's really right before entering Spirit that I realized like it could be 80 Requiem. But thank God it was
luckily not. Yeah.
And
honestly, at that point in the seed, looking at what y'all both had, we were thinking SeYsEy doesn't know it, but he wants it to be all dungeons. But Ryu just never went back to do well, which we thought was his best play, but in the race it's an entirely different thing. We don't know where he was at, what he was thinking. We can only speculate, and honestly it's not really, we can't say what was the best play or not, but at that point it seemed like he would go back to do well before you would go towards Ice Cavern.
Yeah, if I was watching the race I would have thought that too. Because Ice Cavern was pretty far away from me. Since I had a lot of overworld stuff, I needed to show Ruto's letter to King Zora as child before that. And yeah, that was pretty out of the way, when the well seems to be the logic play when you finish your progression. So yeah, that's why I'm surprised Ryu didn't do it. But maybe he just gambled, I think, but didn't pay off for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, because there's definitely a world where, he was on his way to do Fire Temple, and at that point, had it been in Deep Fire, different conversations. So,
also, I think it's funny to note, both of y'all picked up the Big Poe in a bottle, which puts it in logic. It was logic anyway, because you had Eponas and a bow, but neither of you ever turned it in.
Yeah, never did. Yeah, because I really thought I was behind when I got... when I was in GTG, I really thought I was behind. And I was pretty happy to find the Iron Boots there, because I thought that if it was the long shot, that it was just everything straight, and I did a lot of mistakes, and I did Shadow before GTG, and I skipped GTG while going to Spirit, so I was really happy to find Iron Boots there. But I forgot what what I wanted to say.
Sorry. I know,
Yeah.
when you went Spirit, my thought was he's doing this, one, because it's progression and he needs to find out if it's all dungeons or not, and two, he still has that Strength 2 path to Mortha, so in his mind, anything here in Spirit Temple can be long shot.
Yeah, absolutely. That I really had in mind that there is something behind Strength 2, so that's why I rushed it, because I think the odds were above 50% to find the items I needed in Spirit Temple, because there is 4 check in GTG, and like there was something like 5 remaining in Shadow, and Spirit is 12, 13, something like that. So I think it was the best play to just rush it, and yeah, when I didn't found anything in Spirit, I was like, what do I do now? And yeah, I chose Shadow over GTG, but I think it was pretty much the same.
Oh, also, can we talk about your very nice swag B1 skip?
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Because I usually messed up, to be honest, and I usually got it second try, and it was pretty fast. The same. I impressed myself, to be honest.
It's slick.
Yeah. But it's not always like that.
It was just like that today.
Yeah. And let's use anything else. Shiro, do you want to take us home?
Sure can.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. GG's again, SeYsEy. Only one
Thank
more
you.
match until the finals. So close. As you guys were saying... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. If you weren't going to mention it, your next match is either What the Hell's Happened or Bro Tender Dose. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, that's gonna be crazy. Yeah, being in final is crazy no matter the opponents, but yeah, to be honest, I think I want to face What the Hell, because he's there for a really long time, number 1 seed in qualifier, like he's pretty much a legend of Ocarina of Time Randomizer, so that would be great to face him in the final, and yeah, in Brody Dundos, I to be honest, I don't know much about him. I saw 1 or 2 races of him during the tournament, but nothing much than that. But either way, it's gonna be crazy.
Alright, well, we wish you luck. I don't know if they have scheduled their race, but even so, when they do, check out the ZSR schedule. If you are up for commentating or tracking and joining our volunteer team, please definitely fill out the form. We would love to have more help, because we love to see our restreams happen when our volunteers are not strapped over 20 million matches for this tournament, but finally nearing the end, and we're very excited.
Oh yeah.
And of course, speaking of our volunteers, thank you to our amazing commentators, Doc Keeps and Mad Luck Adam, and our trackers, Baseball and Diesler. Did I do that too fast maybe? I did an R instead of a T. Thank you, reading. Thank you all to all of our volunteers, and please give a follow to our amazing runners that you watched today. And with that, I believe we're good. Any final thoughts from you guys? We will rate our French restream team. Another command I get to use. Alasuna. Because there have been quite a lot of French restreams as well. So if English is not your native language, there is French restream available if that is something you're more comfortable with.
Right. One final thing. Ryu, not out of it yet. He'll face either Gavaroni or Gogeta.
Yes.
Not sure when, but soon.
Yeah, loser's bracket I think has to catch up quite a lot, but definitely not over. So more to come. And then with that, yeah, let's go see our French restream team. SeYsEy, I don't know if you're doing another interview, but if you are,
yeah, I will. I will.
And thank you, restream team. Hope everyone enjoyed watching this tournament match, and we'll see you the next time. Bye.
Peace.
Bye. Thanks for